Boxing fans, what's going on? J Street Sports, Julius here. Hey, been gone for a few months. We haven't done a show in about 6 or 7 months. I'm ready to rock and roll. I got my man, my first guest, Cozy. What's up, Cozy? How you been, man?
I've been good, man. How you doing, Julius? It's nice to hear from you, man.
Yeah, man, doing good. I'm back. So I'm ready to
Good.
rock
We
and
needed your
roll,
voice.
man. Huh? Yeah, good to hear yours too, man.
We needed your
Good to hear
voice.
yours, man. Yeah, yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready to rock and roll. We got some big stuff to talk about tonight too, because look like the lightweight division is on fire, man. So we got a lot of little controversy going on about people saying this guy ducking this guy. I'm just ready to talk about it. Ready for these fights to get
Mm-hmm.
on. I mean, all the talking should end. So, um, but just getting back, listen, for everybody, I'm back. I'm excited. I'm ready to talk sports. Tonight is going to be boxing. Maybe this weekend is going to be basketball. We got a lot of things going on. Got my man Cozy. Got a couple other people that's going to be coming on, and we're going to definitely talk. A lot of people want to talk about Devin Haney tonight. I seen that. Been a few conversations going on, Cozy, online. I had to kind of cut them short because I wanted to save it for the show. I didn't want to give it all away during the Twitter, but a lot of people are talking about or excited about Devin Haney and Lomachenko. What's your thoughts on that, man?
Um, I'm not really that hyped for the fight, to be totally honest with you. I didn't like
Mm-hmm.
Loma's energy. He saw Devin Haney in the ring, and he said that he looked like a heavyweight. Red flag to me. Sound like you're scared. I think Devin Haney should win this fight 8-4, 9-3, pretty easy. I'm not sure how exciting it'll be. I am interested to see the last three so rounds with Loma trying to turn it on and see if Devin Haney matches energy. But other than that, I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not super excited for that fight.
I got you, man. As far as Lomachenko, I have seen those type of that type of energy from him before when he talk about different guys. Yeah, we definitely talking about Lomachenko. So, but look, let me say this too, though. Even though I don't feel like he really believes in himself and is super confident, he's still a dangerous guy. You know what I'm saying? For a guy like Haney, he's still dangerous because the fight could happen and Haney could have won the first 4 or 5 rounds, but Lomachenko could, if he feels that this guy can't hurt him, guys fight a little bit different. It's almost like if you put headgear on a guy fight harder with the headgear knowing he can't get hurt. So, that could, alter how the fight plays out as well. But yeah, I think we all know what the probable result be, a 12-round unanimous decision, right? What's up, Ronnie Bravo? If you want to jump in, man, you definitely welcome to jump on in, Ronnie. But yeah, Cozy. So that's kind of what I kind of see how that fight probably plays out, a 12-round, decision. But we also got Tank Davis, Ryan Garcia. How did you think? Did you catch the open workout? And if you did, what did you think of how both fighters were looking? Oh, his phone had went out. It's Evan. Evan, how you doing, brother? All right. Junebug.
Going on?
My
What's
man
going on, bro?
Junebug. How you doing, man? What's going on, brother? Cozy, I'm back, brother. Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Junebug, I can't hear you, bro.
Okay, I can hear y'all now.
I got you. Got
Can
you.
you hear me?
Yep, got you.
Let me see.
I got
What
you.
was the last thing you were saying? It kicked
Yeah,
me
I
out.
was saying that talking about Ryan and Tank about they had the open workout. I said, did you see it? And if you did, what did you think of the open workout? And
I
what's going
saw
on, Evan, in the chats?
I saw some of both. Um,
Mm-hmm.
this whole time, I'm not sure if Ryan is playing around or whatever, but every time I see him in his workouts, he's always doing something wrong. Like this open workout, I saw him pivoting off the 1-2, but he's not moving his head when he's throwing the punch. So I'm like, okay, maybe he playing around or whatever. I'm not sure. When I see Tank, this is gonna sound like I'm glazing, but I'm not. He looks sharp. But I think that comes from him really being active over these last 12 months, which is a good thing. I
Mm-hmm.
think Tank is going to show he's on a whole nother level just based on the workout. But I could be wrong here. Maybe Ryan is playing possum, you know?
What you think, Junebug, about that? If you saw the workout, and if you did, can you take anything from it, or basically how you see this situation playing out pre-fight so far?
So I didn't see the workout, but I've been keeping up with it. Like, everybody that loves boxing been keeping up with it. So it's interesting, man, because Ryan have the tools. I
Mm-hmm.
think he has the tools, but if a higher percentage is going to go with Tank, because you know what I'm saying, Tank in box. I think Tank has proven that he's a little bit more of that power puncher than maybe 3 years ago. It seemed like that's all he was. So Tank in box now. Tank has showed, like I said, when he fought Cruz, like he had a messed up hand. Tank looked like
Mm-hmm.
he was maybe 50% in that fight, and look how he still did in that fight.
Right.
It's gonna be interesting. Like I said, if I'm betting my house, if I'm putting money on it and things like that, of course I'm gonna go with Tank. I think I've just seen too much of Tank to just seeing what he can do once he land flush and things like that to go against him and seeing what he can do other than just being a power puncher. But I will say this, and I think a while back I said that, man, Ryan Garcia has the tools to me to beat people like Tank and
Mm-hmm.
Devin Haney
Mm-hmm.
because he got a real quick twitch. He got a real quick twitch. And one thing is he got length. He got length. So if he's not scary and he's using his head and things like that, he can use the basic skills of boxing and just using speed and staying on the outside, which a lot of people don't realize with just those skills and knowing how to do those two things right there, it's hard to beat because now people lunges in at you and stuff like the fight I just seen this weekend with the boy Shakur Stevenson
Mm-hmm.
and the boy.
And a
Don't
Japanese guy.
remember, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get me wrong, Shakur ate everything on the plate, but if you notice, that guy didn't do himself any justice by trying to get inside. So when
Right.
you don't have length and you're lunging and lunging, anybody with a skill set and fast reflexes, they ain't got to do nothing but just sit up there and just pop, 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 pop. You know what
Right.
I'm saying?
And
Just
and
stay there. So
speaking of
that's how.
that, we're gonna also talk about Fedora getting caught with a shot again and getting knocked out this time.
Woo!
Yeah, and also hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Cozy is correct. Also, I want to say this right here about fighting tall. But before I do that, listen in the chats. Ty Chus, that's Evan. He said, "I'm good. I'm kind of a Loma fan. I bet everything on him, but I don't really know the other guy." So he's a kind of a Lomachenko boxing fan and not much of a regular boxing fan. And he going in on Lomachenko. And like I said about that fight, I haven't really broke it down. I probably will tonight, but I'll say this. Devin Haney should win with just a jab and a straight right hand, but it could end up being a tricky fight. But I got Devin winning that particular situation. But back to this, Ryan Garcia. Y'all tell me if y'all agree with this. Ryan Garcia got Oscar De La Hoya in his camp, being the trainer. He said, "I got no money right now." All right, but Ryan Garcia got Oscar De La Hoya. Oscar De La Hoya was the master of fighting tall, behind that jab, left hand, right hand, you know what I'm saying? Left hook, jab, all that stuff, man. I think that he would pay dividends to just go off of a Oscar De La Hoya fight plan against Tank Davis, because the thing about whenever you fight a guy that is a Mike Tyson, a Zab Judah type of fighter, you have to beat him with timing. And that's the one thing that
Yep.
Ryan Garcia gonna have to use in this fight is he's gonna have to time Tank coming in. And like y'all said, he can't fight scared. What you think, Cozy? And Ronnie Bravo, what's up, my good brother?
What's good, bro? How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I'm back. It's been 7 months, 8 months since we last did a show. I'm ready, man.
Yes, sir. I hear that. Go ahead,
Yeah.
Cody.
I appreciate
Cozy.
you, Ronnie. Yeah, I agree with you. Timing is definitely going to be the key for Ryan Garcia, and standing tall and not giving up too much ground. As the bigger fighter, you can't get into a trance with Tank or you taking little half steps back consistently, because then he'll time you. Unfortunately for Ryan, though, I think Ryan, what we saw in the Tego fight, not the Fortuna fight, but the Tego fight, was you can take away that left hook. I mean, no matter what we say about Tego, because Tego was just in there surviving, he showed you could take away the left hook with simple movement. Ryan has a hard time resetting. He's not really a good fighter on the move. So I think Tank is going to do the same thing that Rolly did with Rolly early, where he's just moving a little bit. Maybe not so crazy, but, just taking these little half steps back and resetting Ryan. And I think it'll throw him off, and they'll end up getting a little anxious, throw something crazy, because Ryan does have a tendency to throw that right hand either lazy or reach, and Tank will counter him and night. That's just how I feel it.
I'm not crazy also about fighters that punch with their eyes closed sometimes. I observe stuff like that. That's believe it or not, it's kind of it happens. Yeah, right.
Ryan does that a lot.
Yeah. No, I don't really like that. What you think, Ronnie? And if you saw the workouts yesterday for both fighters, what did you think about that, and how you kind of see this situation leading into this fight?
Well, I didn't watch the workouts. I saw them posted, but I didn't see the workouts. I haven't got a chance to look at them. But in terms of what Ryan Garcia has to do to beat Tank Davis, I think he can. That's the crazy thing about it. I know a lot of people is picking Tank, and that's smart money would definitely have Tank as the favorite in this fight. But it's just like historically, whenever somebody is the betting favorite and it's the overwhelming favorite, nine times out of 10, sometimes they lose. You know what I'm saying? Like, normally the betting favorite always is supposed to win, but I just think too many people are like kind of just underestimated what Ryan Garcia can do. Now, I definitely don't believe Ryan. I think Tank will win the fight, but I wouldn't be surprised if Ryan beat Tank, is what I'm trying to say. Because if he just uses his measurables, then I think he can, because Tank, you can't get around being 5 foot. What is he, like 5'5"? They say he's 5'7". Yeah. They say he's 5'7", but no, he's
7.
about 5'5".
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Yeah, he's about 5'5".
Yeah, I've been around him. He about 5'5.5". Don't get me wrong. I know that being almost the same height. How about that? So yeah, he's definitely 5'5".
Right.
D-Hive, how you doing, brother? D-Hive is joining us too, guys.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear.
Okay.
D-Hive,
what's good, man?
Go
What's
ahead.
up, everybody?
All right. Did you see the workouts? And if so, what did you think about them? And how do you see this playing out?
Okay, yeah, I've been listening since the beginning. I'm just ripping and running right now. But so Lomachenko versus Devin Haney, I got Devin Haney by majority or split decision. That's going to be a skin of his ass type situation for multiple reasons. Tank versus Ryan, I haven't really watched the workouts because I'm one of those people that not only think Ryan Garcia is not really good, but he's never been good. I've been watching him since 2016, and based on what I've seen so far, he hasn't really made enough adjustments to really do anything with Tank. I got Tank inside 8 by like any way he decides. I think the reason why Ryan has so much amateur success is because the amateurs is, it rewards his kind of fighting, which is he's going to make it look like he's doing a lot of things because he's throwing a lot of punches and stepping forward.
That's true.
But the reality is none of it is going to be effective, and then Tank is going to hit him, hurt him, wobble him, and finish him. But yeah, that's about it.
Yeah. Jumbo, you was about to say something, brother?
Well, what he said about the amateurs and Ryan Garcia, that's very true. That is very true when it comes to amateur fighting and stuff like that. When I don't want to get too much into it, but that was a very, very solid statement there. For the most part, like everybody's saying, smart money is gonna go with Tank, but Ryan, like I say, with what you said, man, with him having De La Hoya in his camp and things like that, man, there are some things that he can do to stay in this fight. First of all, of course, he can't make it. He can't make it no dog fight. He has to use his skill. And are we sure that Tank is gonna be conditioned really good in this fight?
For a big
Which I
long
think is
fight.
gonna.
I think
Yeah.
so.
Man,
This is his third fight in 11 months, so he's been active. So he's really just been out of camp and into camp.
Steph,
he's
what's
been
up, my
active.
man? Hold on a second, guys. Steph, how you doing, brother? It's good that you had came up here, man. You get a chance, you come on. All right, go ahead.
Well, yeah, I was about to say, yeah, he's been conditioned, but I think Ryan has always been the better conditioned fighter. Not the better fighter, but the most conditioned. If Ryan do some things and stuff like that, and let's be honest, right? When it comes to those judges' scorecard, right? If Ryan can keep himself from getting popped too much and things like that, if he can last to the final bell and things like that, it may be a judge or two that's already gonna give him an extra point. He's gone? Okay.
That's true. That's very true because he's gonna be more active from beginning to end because we all know Tank don't throw that many punches if he's not in that situation.
So
yeah, and that way, Ryan can steal rounds early because Tank is kind of a slow starter, so I think he can steal like probably the first 3 rounds, so he can make
Where's
the fight.
The fight's in Vegas, right?
Yeah, the fight's in
Yes.
Vegas. Yeah.
Because I'm trying to think, are they like Texas judges where they give you credit for simply moving forward and throwing but not landing?
Well, not necessarily on the books, but we know how that goes when it's a certain fighter. You know what I'm saying? And Ryan Garcia, he has a lot of popularity. That just we may not like him, but he does have a lot of popularity.
I agree there, but I would say this: if we take and glean anything from the negotiations, it seems like Tank had a pretty heavy hand, him and his team. So I think they probably have a significant hand in picking the judges, you know what I'm saying, the ringside, stuff like that. So I don't know how much in favor that's going to be for Ryan. You feel me?
I'm not going to lie. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you good.
I'm not going to lie. The main thing I think that's going to happen is that toward round 6 or 7, Ryan is going to put Tank in a position where Tank and his team believe they need a knockout, and that's going to change everything. And this is not me saying that Tank is going to be hurt or beat up or losing badly. I just think that Ryan is going to look like for the first half that he's doing more, and then they're going to be like, look, Tank, we need to make some shit happen because look what's happening. This is Ryan Garcia. You really wanted all to fall because of Ryan Garcia? It's going to be like one of those situations that he's going to be like, all right, you know what, fuck it. And then put some shit together and it's going to be over.
I don't even think it's going to take that long, bro, to be honest with you. I really think Ryan going to come out maybe from opening bell, at least throwing that 1-2. You feel what I'm saying? So I think maybe by round 3, Ryan going to force Tank to fight.
He's going to have to.
I'll tell you what this fight can remind you of, even though Tank is still, to me, he has more speed than Lomachenko, and he's more athletic than Lomachenko. But this fight puts me in the mind of what it can happen is Lomachenko versus Tio. The Tio comes out those first rounds moving, putting a few little 1-2s and things like that together. And before we know it, Tank may be down like the 4 or 5 rounds going into the 6th round.
Yeah, but the thing about that is, the difference between those 2 fights is I don't think that Tank Davis is not scared of Ryan Garcia's power like Lomachenko was in terms of Teofimo Lopez. Like he had him gunshot.
I don't think he was. I don't think that's when Tio found. I mean, that's when Loma. Honestly, we talk about Tio a lot, but Tio exposed Loma because I don't think he was scared of Tio's power. When I looked at that fight, I just looked at it was like that's one of the first times he fought a young guy, a young gun that actually had so much quickness over him that he wasn't able to do it. It took him a lot bit longer to analyze and try to find spacing and everything in that fight. But by the time he did it, like I say, Tio, I think most people gave Tio like what the first 6, maybe 7 rounds. I think round 7 is when Loma started. And Ryan has the ability to do that if he stays on the outside. He knows Tank gonna be aggressive. He knows what Tank's gonna bring if he can connect with him and stuff like that. He has to, like people try to talk about Devin Haney. He has to make it like a Devin Haney fight. Like they say, boring, stay on the outside. Because if you try to get too pretty, you know, with the speed bag and stuff like that, you're going to go to sleep.
Yeah, but he can't. I don't think he can't fight like that because Ryan don't know how to fight off his back foot, though. That's the only problem. So he's going to have to step to him. Like there is no other way.
That's true, but
well,
I wouldn't say he had to step to him. But you think how long can Tank be like get irritated before he gets reckless? Do you think Tank can get reckless in this fight?
Well, he's shown that he's patient. He's shown that
Tank, Tank can. I mean, personally, that's the only path to victory I see for Ryan is getting some shit off work. Because to me, this is Tank's fight to lose. And the only path to victory I see for Ryan is Tank not doing what he's supposed to, maybe thinking Ryan is a joke just because he is, in fact, a moron and underestimating his strength. And Ryan getting some lucky shit off and just like be the biggest upset since fucking Buster Douglas.
Well,
so
I'm
you
gonna
think
tell
it'll be
y'all
a big
something.
upset?
I wouldn't put it. Well,
that kind of upset.
I'm gonna say this, D-High.
I think it's
I wouldn't
closer
put
than
that upset up there in epic proportions, and I'm gonna tell you why.
It'll be an upset to black people.
Right. Let me.
The collective as a boxing world. I don't know.
Yeah, it'll be an upset to this black guy, but it won't be a massive upset, and I'm gonna tell you why. Tank Davis, for all his talents, right, is still a very, very flawed fighter. Thank God it ain't Oscar De La Hoya in that ring next to him, and instead he getting Ryan Garcia, because I'm gonna tell y'all what Oscar De La Hoya would have did. He would have knocked Tank Davis unconscious. But the reason is because a guy like Tank, you gotta use your jab. All right, you gotta use your jab, and you gotta touch Tank downstairs, and you gotta give him a little bit of movement, not too much movement, but just a little bit. You got to frustrate him. You got to be able to touch him. And the only thing about Ryan is Ryan fights with his head straight up in the air. Mm-hmm. And he's going to be a target. And I think that Tank can actually intimidate Ryan. And I think that he can get in on Ryan and kind of bully him in this fight. And I think that Tank could get a stoppage based on those things. But as far as the fight plan, Ryan should have physically all the tools to be able to handle himself in this fight. But he make a lot of mistakes. I mean, he punched with his eyes closed. He turned his head when he throwing shots and turn it around like he looking behind him. I mean, he do a lot of things that could get him touched in this fight, regardless of the scorecards, and knocked out with one punch. And I'm questioning Ryan Garcia's chin. That's another thing. I don't know how good he take a shot. I mean,
that's a good question.
And Tank is turning himself into like a big guy specialist. Like he excels when the targets are bigger, and he struggles when the targets are smaller. So Ryan Garcia presents a pretty big stagnant target that don't have the best footwork. So. You know, I wasn't saying. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I do apologize for cutting y'all, but let me say this, because Tank get a lot of flack for not fighting a lot of top guys, right? Mm-hmm. So let me ask you something, right? And you can probably say, you maybe can say this for both fighters, but who have Tank fought that you think can prepare him for this fight? Like, is this his biggest fight?
To me,
Mario Barrios.
As far as competition,
Yeah.
like what do you like biggest fight as far as like his toughest opponent?
Yeah.
Well, that would
I
be
think this is his
Pitbull
toughest
Cruz
opponent.
to me. To me,
I
I,
don't.
the only reason why I think Ryan is his toughest opponent is because he's the one fighter. Even though I said that I feel that Tank can intimidate and bully him, I'm talking about in the ring. Coming into this fight, I think that Ryan is the only person he's fought that really 100% believes that he can win.
That's what you're getting from Ryan? Because I'm not getting that.
I mean, I'm
I'm
just
getting
going off of
I'm
what
not
I
getting
have seen.
confidence from Ryan at
No,
all.
I think that I think he playing possum a lot. I think he
Okay.
really is confident in this fight. I don't believe that he's gonna win, but I believe that the kid is confident. I
why he
believe
making
that
all these excuses then?
Yeah,
I
I'm
mean,
not. I'm
look,
not getting confidence from him. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I
I'm
think
not
he,
getting it.
I think he confident, man. I really think that he's confident.
You know,
And Chris
Julius.
said he cashing out. He might be cashing out.
You know, Julius. I think Ryan is not his toughest fight or toughest test. I think he might be his most talented opponent to date,
yeah,
just in
I give
terms
you
of
that.
Right,
like speed and power and stuff like that.
right.
But earlier you said Tank is like extremely flawed. I actually think it's the opposite. I think Ryan is talented, but he has fundamental flaws that will hurt him in the big fights against elite competition. Like you said,
Well,
his
he gonna
chin's
get
up in the
knocked
air.
out in
Like
this
D
one.
Hop, yeah,
I don't even
like
think.
D
I
Hop
don't
said,
even.
the feet are bad. You know what I'm saying? Go
I don't
ahead,
even
T-Ron.
think Ryan is talented. I think he's the Zerto of 135. Like this nigga, like he's never. I mean, did y'all when Ryan first came up from 130? I think his first fight was Morales. The guy has 6 knockouts and 2 losses. He had Ryan struggling like it was fucking damn near life or death. I saw that fight and I was like, oh hell no, this ain't gonna be the
You know,
guy.
I think
Yeah, I see what you're saying, but did we all think the same thing when Tank fought Cruz?
No,
Like,
I
whoa.
never even when Tank
No.
fought Cruz, I never questioned Tank's
Well,
ability.
which one
Not
was it?
once.
Isak or Santa Cruz? Which
What?
one?
Oh, well,
Eastside.
definitely not Santa Cruz, because
Oh.
what the fuck? He damn near killed Santa Cruz. But
We didn't
Chris,
even know who
That
Chris, you're
Isak
right.
Cruz was
That's
for the most
facts.
part
that
before
Chris.
that
was a
fight.
tough. That was his toughest fight, though, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Chris
and that was
just said
2
something
fights
that was
ago.
interesting. He said that if Tank was 5'8", Ryan would not be trying to fight him. I agree,
not
but
at all. Yeah,
That's why
Tank
he
was
all
he
these
got a
guys
5'8".
want to fight
physical
him.
advantage. But let me say this, Chris. It was something that I heard Tank say a few weeks ago that I wanted to jump on, but I didn't say nothing. When he said that Mike Tyson could chest punch and he didn't have talent, and that he's more
Uh,
talented than Mike Tyson. Listen, um,
He said more
I
skills.
haven't. And he said even more skill, right? Listen,
yeah.
man. A lot of times I don't like to go back in the past and bring up now. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But let's be honest, man. I mean, the talent level that Mike Tyson had to fight, yeah, he fought some bums, but he also fought Lennox. He fought an all-time great. Fought Lennox Lewis, Evander Holyfield. I mean, even the wins that he had against Frank Bruno and Alex Stewart, those guys, it might sound like, oh, he beat Michael Spinks, another all-time great, and knocked him out in seconds. Those guys was something that I ain't seen my man Tank fight. What was the
Yeah.
thing about those guys, y'all? I'm just wondering. I'm asking for a
Even
friend. Were they black?
even dudes,
They
I'm
were
just
even
black.
dudes like
Were
even
those
dudes like
black guys?
Mitch, even dudes like
Okay.
Mitch Green and Revolta. Those are
Yeah,
those are some solid dudes.
Mitch Green could fight, but
I
I'm
mean,
Yeah,
he
but
Mitch
I'm
don't.
Green,
saying
he's scrapping.
He ain't got no Razor Ruddock on his resume. Like
right.
I'm
No
trying to figure this
Razor
out.
Ruddock. No, definitely ain't got a Spinks, Lennox Lewis, and Holyfield. Let's
You,
hold
So
that up to the
do
side.
y-
you know
so
what?
do y'all think we get 2 fights?
Say that again.
So do y'all think we get 2 fights?
Out of
Nah, this
this,
one and
the
Oh, they
done.
only
bet,
way we get
man, they
two
bet
fights
not.
is
only
if
if
Tank
Ryan wins.
lose or you get knocked down. Which one gonna happen? That's the only way I
Man,
think we get 2 fights.
Yeah.
Tank got to clear this dude because, like I said, all Tank got to do for me is fight Devin and Shakur, and I never ask him for shit again. That's it. That's all. That's all I'm asking for.
And see,
Is there
Oh,
right
we
now?
gonna definitely get on that.
I'm gonna shoot
No
Tank
doubt.
some bail real quick though. Let me shoot Tank some bail real quick. The only reason he said anything about Mike Tyson is because they asked Mike Tyson in an interview, like, what do you think about Tank or whatever. He was like, yeah, the only thing that I feel like we have in common is like getting in trouble with the police and the law or whatever. So then Tank
Yeah.
took a little shot back at him.
Talking
You
shit.
feel what I'm
Okay,
saying?
gotcha,
So
gotcha.
it
I
didn't
didn't
come out
know
of
that
nowhere.
part.
He's just taking a little shot because he took his little shot. You feel me?
Yeah, I didn't know that part.
But was
I
that
didn't
really
know
a
that
shot
part.
though? It ain't really a shot. They are different. Like Tank is more
Absolutely, it
diverse.
was a shot.
Yeah, I mean
It,
Tank is more
it was a
diverse.
shot.
But
Mike Tyson is an asshole. Mike Tyson is an
Yeah.
asshole. It
The
was
only
a
thing you
shot.
bring up about Tank is his off the, you know what I'm saying, off the ring
okay.
issues. It's like, bro, that's
Hey,
crazy.
Right,
Come on.
hey,
There's
right.
look,
plenty
Yeah,
to
he
say
man.
was
about him
trolling.
otherwise.
Hey, look, bro. I say this all the time, and I be real serious. I think that us black folks, man, got to, we definitely got to stick together, man, in situations and stop all this. I'm gonna say it, man. All this cooning, man, and not just cooning, but we also do things where we are so quick to be so aggressive and dismiss our own people, but then they go somewhere else and they on their best behavior.
That's
Bill
what
Haney,
Mike Tyson be
you know what
doing
I'm
with them
saying?
Mexicans, man.
Yeah.
Mike Tyson
Right.
do it. He
When
was one
David
he had to fight
Benavidez on
with
there, he's like,
Donald
"You the
Trump.
Mexican monster" and all this stuff.
Yeah,
And
with
now it's
Yeah,
Tank.
Mike.
It's like,
Yeah,
yo,
hey,
But
won't he
when
at the fight with Donald Trump last
yeah,
week?
Yep.
yeah.
See,
Mike
But see,
Tyson.
but
Mike
we gotta
Tyson been
remember
corny since he
because
been
Mike
getting
got
that
humble.
weed money.
And then
But that's what I
Charlo
was
be
about
up
to say.
there
But we
naming
gotta
them names.
yeah, that's what I was about to say. We got to remember Mike got humble. At one point Mike was on top of the world
right,
until Mike damn near went broke. So Mike got what we call the, saying what Dr. Umar called them lashes. And that put Mike in a different headspace to where he like, for me to get this bread, I might have to coon a little bit because I can't get that bread back that I once had if I don't do it. That was his
yeah,
mindset, and you can
right.
tell.
And don't get me wrong, he made a lot of money for and with Donald Trump because he was one of the
He
first
was
fighters
fighting
to
at the
sign
hotel.
to sign a contract directly with the
Yeah, with
hotels, not even the
Trump
Netflix.
Plaza.
Yeah, the Trump Taj Mahal. Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, so I understand that, but at the same time, man, like I say, we gotta kind of,
Just say no comment. Just say no comment.
yeah. And this is gonna transition me into a real subject that I really want to talk about. Bill Haney comments about
Oh
Shakur,
no!
man.
Oh God!
This about to be good.
I gotta do it. Junebug, I know you've been waiting for me to jump on him. I got it. I gotta get on him, man. I gotta get on Bill, man.
Hey,
He one of those guys, man. I swear to you, man. The aggression and and everything that he do towards. Look, man, this ain't got nothing to do with Devin, y'all. This ain't got nothing to do with Devin. We talking about Billy right here, William. All right, William. William likes to, William likes to get into black folks and get aggressive, man. I mean, I don't be knowing when he be talking sometimes if we looking at a Klansman or is that just
Oh,
I don't know, man. I ain't never seen a
hell
guy
no!
so aggressive towards black folks. I'm talking about am I saying so? If I'm saying something wrong,
You
please
saying
cut me
right
off.
now? You talking right now?
so
He
You know
said
what I'm saying?
Klansman. Oh no!
That's what it
so
looked like, man.
so
Oh,
so I'm gonna tell you what I think Bill problem is, man.
Okay.
Bill problem is almost the same problem that I think Bud have too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Son is a tremendous talent, right? Son is,
Right.
very good and stuff like that. Son has finally accomplished some good stuff, undisputed. I
Right.
think Bill problem is that if you think about it, all us boxing heads up here, I saw Shakur fight last week, right?
Mm-hmm.
As talented as his son is, man, most
Mm-hmm.
boxing analogists, enthusiasts, fans still don't have his son beat a Tank, a Shakur. And I think it's finally getting off on him to where it's like, God damn, because that's his son, right? Everybody's gonna ride
Right.
for their son. So I
Right.
think,
No question.
and sometimes, man, the daddy always have bigger balls than the son. And I'm not, and I'm a Haney fan. You know that, Julius. That's why you said it. So,
Right.
but I think the Haneys are getting frustrated that as much as Devin is accomplished, I think every person on this panel, I could be wrong. I can't speak for you fellas, but if Tank was to be fighting Devin next week, I think most people gonna ride with Tank. If Devin was to fight Shakur next week, I think most people are gonna ride with Shakur. And I guess it's getting irritating to the fact that he feel like he has accomplished so much more than those guys, and he's
Mhm.
still the underdog against some of the top fighters in his division.
Can
And I
I build
think
Right.
on that
now
point?
Bill, huh? Yeah,
Go ahead,
go ahead,
Gozi.
spill. Go
Let me
spill.
just
I'm through.
let me build on that point because I agree with you. I actually think it's more so he wants Dev to have the same fan base and be able to pack arenas
Mm-hmm.
like a Tank, and he feel like, yo, my son got all the belts. He's fighting tough competition. Da, da, da. Why don't he get that same praise? And he's going about this the wrong way. Talking about
Mm-hmm.
Tank's mom and this, that, and the third. So I think
Yeah.
that's the problem. But the thing with Dev and Bill is they gotta understand Tank is what 4 years ahead of them. It took more
Yeah.
time. Tank had the machine of Al Heyman and Mayweather promotions behind him. You feel what I'm saying? They went the independent route. So the way the results are happening is due to the different processes and journeys they had, right? So they got to just understand that it takes time. You feel what I'm saying? Like
I
that's all it is.
disagree. I disagree
Okay.
with the commercial. I disagree with the commercial aspect of it. As far as the money and like arenas and all that stuff, Devin Haney, that given the fact that he's not a knockout puncher, that was always going to be far fetched. I think what it is just the raw disrespect. Not even the odds against a Tank or a Shakur. I think it's just the fact that some of the things that Devin Haney has been subjected to, other fighters haven't been subjected to. Like, oh, he's pillow fisted, this and that. Every time he has an error, people capitalize on it and do like 3 months worth of analysis to it. I think it's the raw disrespect in this position because look at fighters
Well,
like Josh Warrington or even Shakur Stevenson. Nobody calls Shakur Stevenson pillow fisted, a pillow fisted boxing specialist that puts on boring fights. Not till Teddy Atlas did. So
well,
I think that the fact that he has accomplished all these things and still takes
I,
more disrespect than other people that have
there,
accomplished less, I think that's
there's
the
some
thing.
there are some guys that have got some criticism just like now. Now you're on to something, but there are some guys that have got some criticism just like him. But I think another thing too is that a lot of people don't realize. To me, like I don't like to live in the moment. I like to just really look at my fights and stuff like that. That Linares fight had gave people upset stomach with Devin, man. Because if you remember that last fight, I mean that last round, when Devin got wobbled and things like that, Devin really did, like say, he did look like he started kind of to run and do some hugging. Like I just got to get to this belt. I know I got the fight won, but I just finna hold this now, man, because. And I think a lot of people got upset with that because the criticism really turned on after that fight. If you think about it. If you go
No,
back and just remember the timing, the criticism really turned on after he did that.
you're
See, I'm a,
absolutely right. You're absolutely right, and I'm glad you mentioned that fight specifically because I brought up the Ryan versus Morales fight for a reason. Because Ryan Garcia did the exact same thing with a guy with no punching reputation at all, and people don't even remember it. So shit like that, when it comes to Bill, I know he gets emotional about this shit. He's like, "What the fuck? All these people have had performances like that before, and they ain't get shit for it. And now he fighting Tank. I know shit like that eats at Bill."
Well,
well,
another reason why he can go
yeah,
ahead.
go ahead.
Well, I was about to say now another reason why the thing I will give them the credit for the Haynes is they seem to be willing to put in the work and fight whoever they can get. You know what I'm saying? It's like they're not
Mhm.
running from the big fights, man. We've
Right.
always questioned in the past, man. Who's holding Tank back? Why Tank haven't went out there and went to Australia to fight Cambosis and things like that? We sell those
Mhm.
things about Tank. Like why Tank isn't fight those guys
Mhm.
like that? So
Mhm.
they're willing to fight the guys. Just like I don't know if you want to bring up that side of the type of street or something, but it's for some reason. I think Tank this right now in Tank's career, him fighting Ryan Garcia shouldn't be looked at his biggest fight as big as a star he is. He should have,
Simple economics, man.
yeah, he should have been got
Also,
hold to somebody.
I want to throw something in, right? And y'all let me shoot for about 2 minutes on this. First of all, I want to say that I appreciate watching all those guys fight, Shakur, Devin, Tank, whomever. But Floyd Mayweather, man, we know he was a spectacular fighter, all right? But Floyd Mayweather had his time, okay? People taking the blueprint of Floyd Money Mayweather, and now it's sprinkled into a lot of these fighters. For example, Tank. Tank wants to fight all Mexican fighters all the time without putting in a solid resume of beating everybody. And it ain't nothing wrong with it because people talk about the money and the selling the the 20,000 for a ringside and this and that. Man, y'all know why I don't talk about that? Because they ain't giving me no money. So I don't understand why people be so into that. That's something that I don't like about this era of boxing. Also, the zero. Everybody seems to believe if a guy loses, now they're the worst fighter ever. Forget about the O. Let's fight. Everybody fights everybody. You know what I'm saying? And going back to the thing about Devin Haney that I ain't crazy about, most of it got to do with when you're trying to sell to the boxing public. Tank Davis, those guys are talking about money with Tank Davis. But when Tank Davis was on his rise, it was all about poverty. And it was all about Baltimore. And it was about coming from the hard streets. Lamont Peterson, it was about the struggle. Corey Spinks, it was about growing up poor. Even Floyd Mayweather, even with uncle was a world champion, it was about him sleeping in his grandmama on a bunk bed. Those type of stories in boxing is what sells. The thing with Devin Haney is Bill wanted to get this persona, and now, you know, he got Devin, you know what I'm saying, with the Louis Vuittons and everything. And that is kind of what they do in the rap game, but for some reason it's not translating with him towards the fans. So in my opinion, the thing that he has to do is something that Devin's trying. He's trying to beat everybody. So sometimes, if you know what I'm saying, if they don't want to join you one way, get them to join you that way. All right. And as far as the jump on what y'all said about the Linares fight, it showed me some flaws. And that's why when I be talking or hearing Art Man and those guys comparing him to an all-time great, I can't do it. I can say that he's good for this era, but there's no way. You got to, number one, sit down on your punches. You have to sit down on your punches. But more important than sitting down on your punches, you have to fight your weight class. Fight where you're comfortable. I don't think that man's comfortable at lightweight. But the reason he's staying there is because financially it's better for him to have all these titles than to have to give them up and start from contender status. But to me, that's the things that's stopping Devin from being a knockout puncher. Number one, you got to stay in the pocket more. And number two, you got to fight your weight class. And I've said, Junebug heard me say this the other day, these guys will be better. Look at Shakur. I don't care if Shakur was fighting Joe Blow. He just looks more comfortable at 135. He looks better physically at 135. And I said it, I think he could go up to 140 and beat Regis Prograis or Josh Taylor or Tio. Like, what's stopping him from doing that? I don't understand why you have to take every single step. I got to go from 35. I got to go to 40. I got to go from 26. I got to go to 30. That's crazy talk. You could go from 26 to 35. A lot of these guys walking around at 150, 160 anyway. So I don't get it. But y'all can shoot on what I said. If you agree.
First off, let me build off what you said because I agree with you. The Floyd Mayweather comparisons got to stop with all of these guys. Shakur in his first title fight fought his brother-in-law to a 12-round decision. You feel what I'm saying? Devin Haney, respectfully, you know, I'm talking about the first time he went and fought for a
Right.
title, which is George Kambosos. He fought
Uh-huh.
a 12-round decision. Floyd Mayweather beat up and stopped Genaro Hernandez in his first title fight. It's just a different level. You feel what I'm saying? And Gervonta
Hall
stopping,
of Fame.
Pedraza, but congratulations. Jose Pedraza's good. He ain't great. You feel me? But more importantly, I agree with you in the sense that he has to sit down on his punches more. But I really just think that Devin and Bill have kind of got caught up, specifically more Bill, has got caught up in the YouTube world. And this is real sensationalist. Like a lot of these people, like they got real hot takes. It's not really, super intelligent talks. And you get caught up in the little petty shit. And so then you
Right.
start turning into, being petty yourself more and more and more. You feel what I'm saying? And I understand the frustration of them. But look, man, not everybody gonna be everything to everybody, and Devin should just keep working. You know what I mean? I know it sounds harsh, but to some people it feels like clout chasing when he constantly talking about Tank. I don't personally think that, but that's just how it's received sometimes, unfortunately. So I think, like you said, he should just keep fighting those good fights, beating the best. And eventually it'll come Marvin Hagler. I just watched a documentary about the Four Kings on Showtime, and Marvin Hagler had to fight and fight and fight. His first title fight, he got an unfair draw, and he had to keep fighting and fighting. Not until he fought Tommy Hearns and beat Tommy Hearns did he become a star. You know what I'm saying?
And he lost a couple
people's roads
fights.
are different.
He lost a
Yeah, and he
couple
lost a
fights
couple
on the
fights.
way up. Yeah. Go ahead, Dion.
Also, one thing I was going to say is that another issue I think when it comes to Bill, because Haney, I mean Devin himself isn't really involved in a lot of the stuff. It's a lot of Bill stuff. I think one thing that doesn't get talked about enough is when Haney first started calling out Tank around the time. I think this might have been either right before or right after Linares. Leonard Ellaby kept coming out and talking about reasons about why the fight was unrealistic or couldn't be made. During that time, from Tank's fan base, Tank himself didn't have much to say. But during that time, from Tank's fan base, the Haneys took a lot of flack that was pretty much went unanswered. Everybody said, yeah, they're making some good, Tank and Ellaby, they're making good points. Who the fuck is Devin Haney anyway? And I think that the fact that now that they're actually coming out and talking a little bit of shit, everybody clapping back at them, I think Bill, kind of takes that a little bit, kind of takes it a little left. Like this shit isn't fair. When we were getting lambasted in the media, no one gave a fuck about us. Now I'm talking a little shit because Haney is the lightweight, kingpin, and people telling me to shut up. So now that he's got the microphone, he's kind of going off script a little bit.
What you think, Ronnie?
Well, two things. I definitely agree with you, Julius and Cozy, about everybody. You have to stop this Mayweather comparison because it's unfair to these kids. First of all, like everybody wants to be Money Mayweather, but no one wants to go the Pretty Boy Floyd route. But also, it's nothing wrong with losing. I know I saw an interview with Shakur Stevenson on a Breakfast Club recently where he was saying, if guys lose, they have to start over. That's not the case.
Not the case.
Just because you lose don't mean you got to start over. So he's well misinformed in terms of that. But even, a lot of these guys grew up watching Floyd Mayweather and idolizing him. And I get that. That's their generation. That's their guy. No doubt the best of his generation. But I can pick.
Well, hold on. They grew up watching the Money May because Mayweather, the Pretty Boy was from 1998
right.
to 2012, 2013. They weren't even watching boxing in 98.
That is true. We have to. It's two separate careers, so I do have to give you that credit in terms of that. But also, I can pick Floyd Mayweather's resume apart from 130 on. So I mean, if they really want to have that kind of conversation, but he did fight who he fought. But there are some Esselino Friedez's on his that wasn't on his resume. Costa Tzu's not on his resume. Paul Spaffordora not on his resume.
The Paul Spaffordora part.
Oh,
I'm gonna tell you what happened. Him and Paul Spaffordora was supposed to fight. Now the Costa Tzu, I wanted to see that fight.
He was on another network.
No, but that didn't.
It don't matter.
But hold on, at that particular time, let me say this. At that particular time, Costa Tzu even though he was at Showtime, he moved over to HBO, and the Mayweather fight would have happened. But if y'all remember, after he knocked out Zab Judah, he ended up getting stopped by Cool Vince Phillips, and that kind of derailed Costa Zoo from getting a Mayweather fight, or he was scheduled to fight Oscar De La Hoya, but he ended up getting knocked out by Vince Phillips. And this Paul Spadafore did never, if you look at his resume, he never got a big fight because in the middle of his career, the alcohol and drugs derailed his career. So that's what happened with those two. Definitely. But I feel you about Freitas and Margarito and even Paul Williams. But now go ahead and keep shooting.
Yeah, so I, just wanted, because I can, we can have this conversation all day about Floyd Mayweather's resume. I can really go into it past 130. But I give him his due, all-time great. That's who they look up to. Good. I'm happy for it, but they got to stop trying to, imitate his career and just be their own man. In terms of Bill and Devin, it comes from a place of love when Bill shoots on what he's been doing, his little warpath he's been going on. It comes from a place of love. As a father, I understand that. Like, I have no problem with the likes of him and, like LeVar Balls, those fathers. That
Ronnie, can I ask you a question? This is a quick question that I think I've asked D-Hive and Koza before. Have you ever heard him threaten a white guy?
Has he threatened anybody?
No, I'm just asking, because when I hear him go up there and go on them tirades, it's usually violence or something, or sleeping with someone's mother towards a black guy. I was just wondering.
Because he cooked Lomachenko's father.
Yeah, the father of Lomachenko and the father of Kambosos. He was on stage.
I remember the Kambosos situation because they wouldn't allow him in. He felt like they wasn't allowing him in Australia, right?
But good point. Not enough of them. I get your point. I get where you're coming from in terms of that. So I get you. So he does have separate energy. The Oakland comes out when it comes to the brothers. I get that point, but it's just he's frustrated because his son has all the belts, but his son don't have the streets, which is what Tank has. Tank has the street. It doesn't matter if Tank has secondary belts. You can debate whether he's really a 3 division champion or if it's legitimate or not. You can debate that.
Like that guy on the internet, he keep calling it Reggie.
Right, the Reggie belt. Right. Yeah, you can debate that, but when you got a guy who's undisputed, he's not getting his. People are out here saying belts don't matter just because his son has them. I can understand his frustration. And then you look at it like in terms of going back to the Mayweather thing. His son moved. They moved to Vegas to train under the Mayweathers, and really didn't get that that connection as Tank has gotten, the backing of the Mayweathers. So the boxing royalty or whatever. And then you look at him, he's hunting Lomachenko constantly. He's got a fight set up with Lomachenko. He chased him around since 2019. Loma didn't give him a shot and everything. So he's looking at, okay, I'm hunting this guy that Tank openly avoided and was, if we're being real, being used as punitive punishment if he didn't do what Mayweather said. Mayweather will threaten him. Oh, I'm gonna put you with Lomachenko. And so when you got somebody doing that to you, and you openly trying to fight that guy, the boogeyman who the other guy is trying to run from, I mean, you're gonna feel some type of way. And then you look at it like, go ahead, sir.
And let me say something that's crazy. In my honest opinion, I feel that Tank Davis would have beat Lomachenko under any of those circumstances. Yes. And Mayweather, and I think that Mayweather had all intentions, because you remember at that particular moment, I hate jumping into the rumor circle, but him and Floyd was going through something that would end up being like a family matter, they say, right? And then he threw him in with Pedraza based upon having no resume. And Tank blew Pedraza out.
This is not rumors, this is facts.
That's
not a rumor, that's a fact, what you're saying.
Yeah, I got you, but you know how I'm saying. I'm trying to just kind of keep it boxing. But yes, it was a family matter that would end up being true. But I'm saying, I feel that Mayweather threw those threats at him. Tank Davis should have said, "Great, give it to me."
Right.
Give it to me. You know what I'm saying? Because to me, D-Hive, Cozy, Ronnie, you only become a star not by fighting a Mexican, not by fighting a black guy, a European. You become a star by beating the best. These guys have to demand fighting the best and leave it there. And I'm gonna say this: I do not believe Bill Haney when he said, "What's going on, brother?" Uh, I do not believe him when he said that Bob Arum said that he would not make a Shakur
Neither
and
do I.
fight.
No.
I don't believe that. I believe that that man would put Shakur Stevenson in the ring with any lightweight in the world, and that's just being honest. I don't see where. Oh no, we don't want to do that. I don't believe
And
that. So
Julius,
what
can I
y'all
add
think?
on real quick?
Adam,
Add on.
yes.
Also, it doesn't make business sense for him because all the belts are at top rank at 135 pounds. Shakur, we know, is solidified as probably top rank's #1 guy right now as far as the American side of boxing. So why in the
Mm-hmm.
world wouldn't he want him to get a chance to get all those belts? That don't make any sense. And
Right.
also, I think a key tactical error that the Haneys made was not building Devin Haney a home base, whether it be Oakland or
Yeah.
Vegas. I think moving around so much, it offered them the opportunity to fight more people. But at the same time, if you look at the careers of like a Earl Spence, or you look at the
Mm-hmm.
career of now a
Bud
Shakur
Crawford.
Stevenson with Newark or Bud with
Mm-hmm.
Omaha, they have a
Mm-hmm.
home base where they can show, listen, I'm financially viable. Economically, I bring this to the table. I bring such and such amount of people out. Here, come fight me. You feel what I'm saying? Devin Haney is kind of somewhat a man with no land. So I think that's something that they should do going forward because that'll help incentivize getting these other guys in the ring that they so desperately want to get in the ring with too, you know?
Hey, let
I
me say
believe.
something about
Oh,
that, and then I'm gonna let my man Clever Steph come and say something. But let me add this, y'all. Mayweather was kind of in the same boat as Devin Haney as far as that goes, because he was from Grand Rapids, Michigan, and he moved out to Vegas when he was 16 years old from Grand Rapids. But when he turned pro, Bob Arum took him back to Grand Rapids and built that base in Grand Rapids. And he ended up, I've been to a couple of his fights in Grand Rapids against Philip Indu. And he had a big fan base, just like Bud, just like Earl. So maybe that was because he had to go to Mexico and then he took that independent route and he never got a chance to build a base. Clever, what's going on, my brother? We up here talking about the lightweights, how you been, and we touching on Tank against Ryan. We touching on Devin Haney and his walk and his plight, and we also, man, are jumping on. We're gonna talk about a little Frank Martin here soon, but go ahead. What you think, man?
Hey, man, I
And
just
how you
want to say
doing?
what's up. I just want to say
Yeah,
what's
good
up
to
to you,
see you,
man.
man.
You
What's
too,
up,
sir.
man?
It's real good to see
Yeah,
you.
been a long
Not
time,
much.
right? Yeah,
Right,
man.
right,
Okay.
right.
Hey, came back, different hairstyle, smaller. Everything different, man.
I know. Me too. Me too. I've been
Yeah.
fasting for the better part of what seems like all year. But again,
Okay.
good to see you. And
You too,
I've
bro.
been listening here and there. I just kind of getting in from work, so just messing around
Yeah,
with the
that's
buddies,
cool, man.
all that kind of good stuff. Not much. To be frank with you, man, I've been kind of taking a little bit of break from the YouTube sphere for
Really? I got
about
you.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10 days, something like just to
Oh,
chill,
okay. I thought you about to say 6, 7, 8 months, like me.
I wish, but I'm too weak, man. I love the boxing talk.
Right.
But again, yeah, not much. Uh, as far as the lightweights go, shoot, man, we say it all the time, right? All those young men need to fight each other.
Right.
Um, with Tank and Ryan, when that got announced, I didn't care. I didn't care much. That's not what I asked for. And I really don't remember none of you guys asking for that.
Right.
Not since fucking, I mean, what seems like years ago when we were like, all of them should fight, all of them should fight. But I don't remember everyone knocking on the door asking for this. We were asking for but we got it. I don't really, Julius, I don't like it much. I don't like it, mainly because of the way it's been billed,
Right.
But respect to the men, really happy for them both. If you ask me, I think Tank. First off, they've been building this for years. That's off top. You go back and look at the work. They've both been kind of jarring, and then I think when Ryan made his splash with Luke Campbell, and then he did that hot boxing episode. That's kind of when, like, as far as I go, like, I remember where all this stuff kind of lifts off. But it's here now. Who else? I was not impressed with Shakur's performance this past weekend. He's a really good fighter, and he needs to be tested like the rest of them. So until he gets in there with like a real killer, my opinion on him stays the same. Frank Martin, man, you've been gone, Julius. He's been putting in a lot of work, and
I end up seeing his work that he put in about 2-3 weeks ago. And let me say something about Frank Martin. Frank Martin is a fighter that every era has Frank Martins. Okay, a guy that's real talented, that is a quiet guy, naturally quiet, don't talk a lot, only put in work, scary talented, that guys don't want to fight because A, they say it ain't enough money in it, who knows him, but B, in their brain, they saying, man, this guy could beat me. This guy could embarrass me and take everything that I earned all these years. He could just take it away in a nutshell. People forget about him beating up on Virgil Ortiz in the amateurs. You get what I'm saying? I know it's the amateurs, but he beat up on him and knocked him down and stuff like that. And that could happen to one of these lightweights too.
And, he's piggybacking off that. He's here. He's a 28-year-old young man. He's here. He's in a good physical prime. He's also aligned with Big Fish, who is promoter, who's one of the more popular and is a big deal in the boxing world, who's trying to get him in there with some of the biggest names. So respect to that. And I'm not going to lie to you, gentlemen. That's why I rock with him. My favorite fighter's fighter. So I rock with him. And then throw some more details on there. He's under Derek James, who teaches his guys to punch for openings. So, and they all have a different style, and it's all predicated on a good jab and good defense. So he's on his way. And I remember when he did an interview with Lefty, shout out to Chicken Talk, going on a year ago now, he said that around 2024, and he had just got done training too. 2024 is when we'll see him in a title shot. So I can't wait. I did think that was funny when his promoter tried to get him, doing a little jarring, but they were serious when he called out Shakur Stevenson. And Shakur does what Shakur does. The top rank way, I like to say, anytime smoke comes, all those top rank guys, they just don't want no smoke, man. You ain't on my level, or you're not popular enough, or you're not this, or you're not that.
Yeah.
But they're the best when they haven't fought nobody. So, we'll see. What else?
Well, hold on. Let me let Cozy, because Cozy want to jump in and say something. Go ahead, Cozy.
I was going to say, I just wanted to say one thing real quick just to build on that, because you just reminded me of that, Steph. Shakur had the nerve to say that fighting Frank Martin before he fought this yo-yo guy would be a step back because he's a champion and Frank Martin is a prospect, and Frank should probably fight Keyshawn Davis. Keep in mind, Shakur just fought a title eliminator against somebody we all know, is not good. Hadn't even fought outside of Japan before that fight. And Frank just fought a guy who people thought could end up being one of the top lightweights in the division and smoked him out for the title eliminator. He has a better win at 135 than Shakur does. They should be fighting for a belt. But like Steph said, the top rank way, no. He's
let me
me.
tell
It
you
wouldn't make
something.
any sense.
Hey, he might have had a better lightweight win than Tank Davis and Devin Haney as well, because I feel that Michael Rivera was better than Kambosos, and I feel like Tank hasn't really beat anyone at lightweight either. So that's not saying that Frank Martin is better than any of those guys. I'm saying he gotta claim the fame that he got a just as big a win as all of them. What you think, D-Hive? Oh, D-Hive is checked out. Go ahead, Ronnie.
Well, yeah, I definitely agree. He does have probably arguably the best resume at 130. Well, best win at 135. I mean, he put a demo down on Michelle Rivera, who was looked at as a top prospect himself. Can't forget about Jackson Marinez. That was a good fight and a good. I think he got him out in the 10th round, if I believe. Yeah, so that was a good one. Thing about Frank Martin that scares people is not only is he's 28, so he's got his man strength already. He doesn't have to grow into his body. So he's already like a grown man. If and he's 5'8". So I mean, he's got the measurables, he's got the dog in him, and he works. The thing about him is he works. He wants to get better. He's open to criticism. He's open to because iron sharpens iron. So if you in there sparring with or in the ring, just rubbing elbows with Errol Spence and the Jamel Charlos of the world, and you get the best coaching with arguably the best teacher in Derek James currently in boxing, you're going to be something to deal with. And a lot of guys don't want to have to deal with that. So Mr. 6-0 should shut his mouth because he's not ready for that. I don't believe. I think he smokes Keyshawn Davis, in my opinion.
Keyshawn?
Yeah, I think he smokes Keyshawn Davis. I was not impressed with his Keyshawn's win over Yigit.
Well, hey, let me say something about Keyshawn. I actually like Keyshawn. I like his talent. But I'm not crazy about who's training it. And I feel that the biggest thing for a prospect that's maybe was a great amateur but trying to become a great pro is that you need the teaching in order to get you there. And Bomac, I mean, look, man.
Cheetos, Mr. Cheetos himself.
Hey, look, man. You kind of gotta. I'm not. Look, man. Bud Crawford. Listen, Bud Crawford is a dynamite fighter, but there are times, and Steph knows this. I think we all know this. Some fighters win in spite of who's training them. It's just like a basketball player. Sometimes they get off. It don't matter who coaching them. Well, listen, in boxing, you need a good coach. It ain't like that, especially when you're learning how to be a pro. Keyshawn might need to think about it, but a lot of times he probably feel like Bud is his favorite fighter. He look up to Bud, so he might feel like, hey, I got to do it like this. But the Davis brothers was a big deal before he even knew Bud. He was a great amateur before. And I think that he would have been better off just sticking with his father or grandfather, whoever was training him, just like Shakur did. That's my opinion. Y'all can shoot on it how y'all shoot on it, but that's how I feel about Keyshawn Davis. I think he's a talent, and I know for a fact that he ain't going to fight Frank Martin. That's why I'm not even going to discuss what would happen in that fight, because it ain't going to happen. Bob Arum ain't taking him nowhere near him. You know what I'm saying? He might fight that guy Ortiz eventually, but he ain't fighting Frank Martin unless a belt is on the line. But y'all go ahead and shoot. What you gonna say, D-Hive?
Before y'all
when I saw Bomac with that bag of Cheetos, I was like, nigga, you would think that he's never been in a situation where he's on TV before. And then I came to realization, this man really doesn't care. He really doesn't care. He's just happy he getting the damn check. He really sitting there knocking
hold on, D-Hive. I gotta stop you, brother. Listen, man. The guy has an eating disorder. Now I'm gonna talk about it because listen, man, I was real unhealthy at one time, man, and I had to go and I had to start doing some superior exercising and cutting back on foods, and I definitely couldn't eat Cheetos and stuff like that every day. I mean, it's okay to sometimes have it. That's what I think his biggest problem. I think he have an eating disorder, man, and I'm being real about that, man. And,
I mean, that's fine, but when you get on network television, you're not gonna pull out a brisket and start fucking knocking it back in the training room. Like, come on, bro. That shit was ridiculous.
He was hungry, man. He was hungry.
God. Maybe
he didn't know the camera was on him. Anyway, go ahead.
Hold up, before y'all go
ahead.
Was Dirk trying
what were you gonna say, Ronnie?
Was Dirk trying to get on? I know he said he had smoke, so I'll let him get on my spot if needed.
Anytime Dirk want to get on, let me know, Dirk, and I'll let you get on. Cause I see you got something to say to D-Hive. But go ahead, Steph. What were you gonna say, man?
Well, not much.
No, I thought you were gonna say something about the Cheetos. I thought you had a comment.
Oh, well, I mean, no, more so like the key. I mean, there's some things I like about Keyshawn. Like he's got obviously he's got skill. He's got great. He's got good power. He's got good punch placement. But for right now, I just think he's okay.
Gotcha. He's not ready for Frank Martin, and that he got.
I wouldn't even say that. I just think he's okay, man. I've seen a bunch of hymns before, so
gotcha. He's a jag,
and I will say this: I think he's been moved right. You know, he's he got
work to do.
The Anthony Yig, there you go. Like Anthony Yig is like, first off, Anthony Yig is nothing. Like, everyone, if you listen to YouTube, let us fans tell it. Everyone was like, "Oh, there's a step up, step up." Anthony Yig is not a step up, bro. He's not good. Who's he beat? Who's he good with? Like,
just a European fighter with a built record.
Not even though he's beat nobody. He's fought nobody.
Right.
So I didn't think much of that. So it is what it is. When I think of those top ranked guys, I think of I was really impressed with that, and I got to talk to him, interview him a few times. Jai Tucker, I like him a lot. I want to see him and Xander get it on, him and Isley get it on. But when it comes to those top ranked guys, I just like Tiger. I like the hang on. I like the what's his name? Shut up.
Abdullah Mason.
I like the Mason kid.
Yeah, Abdullah Mason.
Okay.
That's my number.
He's
Mason,
ready.
Right?
Yeah. He should. I want to see him in Shakur fight. I want to see him in Keyshawn fight. I want to see him in those young cats.
Let me ask y'all about another lightweight. Y'all can jump in, any of you. What do y'all think about Floyd Schofield?
Garbage. Straight garbage. Garbage. And I say that respectfully. You know what I'm saying?
He said Floyd Schofield like it was serious.
I thought you were about to say Tiger Johnson or.
I thought you were about to say somebody real. He said Floyd Schofield.
Or shoot.
Hey, look, man, he was talking. The reason I had to bring it up. Hey, he was talking about Keyshawn and smoking him and stuff, man. So, I had to ask, man, what you thought about it. I
like the young brothers. I like the young brother spirit. You feel what I'm saying? Anybody who laces up a pair of gloves and wants to compete, I got respect for them. But as far as ranking him or seeing where he'll be, he's just not at that level. Like the Raymond Murataya kid would beat him up badly at this point. You feel me? So I think Schofield, he got to sit back, relax. He needs to just continue to develop, because he's flawed too. But I just want to say something about Keyshawn and Shakur. One, if we're going to call Tank to the carpet and stuff like that about fighting these Mexicans, I have to do the same thing with Shakur. He's fought nothing but foreigners. You know what I mean? I need you to get in there with somebody who can actually move their feet, who's coordinated, who's athletic, that can match your athleticism, so I can see how good you are. Because you beating up on Yo-Yo, man, like Steph said, does not impress. 1, 2 for Keyshawn. And I respect Keyshawn. I actually like Keyshawn. I think Keyshawn's very talented.
He is.
But I'm very concerned with the Bomac thing. The only thing in my mind, I'm thinking maybe Bud is just coaching him up. You know what I'm saying? So maybe he'll just get the coaching from him and the training, the tools and the tips. Right. But 2, and more importantly, he has power, but that was a bit of a mercy stoppage. And for me, I have to see Keyshawn in there again with somebody who's going to punch back. he hasn't fought one person who has given him a modicum of pressure or danger. He's fighting guys who are literally just covering up and ducking for their lives. That's
Man,
not
let me say
impressive
something.
either.
Top Rank and their matchmaking. A lot of people today have benefited. And I think that's Dirk or somebody trying to come on. Somebody will have to come off for you to come in, Dirk.
I'm gonna ride out. I gotta go pick up something.
Okay, all right, no problem, bro.
All right, Ronnie, be easy, man.
All right, Ronnie. The
Thanks,
one
guys.
thing I'm gonna say, man, is that matchmaking has preserved and got people. It's my man Checkmate. Have made a lot of money for a lot of people. But listen, Checkmate, what's up, brother? I ain't talked to you in about 7 months, man, and heard your voice. How you doing, good brother? It's good to hear from you, man. And we out here talking to Devin, to Shakur, and all the lightweight stuff that I know you like to talk about. And you know what I'm saying? And throw your videos around. So we talking about it today, man. And I'm gonna ask you the question that I asked everybody first. Have you seen the workout of Tank and Ryan? How you think everybody looking, and go from there, brother?
I'm not too sure. Hey, hold on. No.
Checkmate.
Yeah. I saw.
No, I'm not too sure. Oof. Hey, get out of here.
Yeah, I saw the workouts. I was again. I think the most impressive thing regarding Tank's workout is, again, just even in just a normal workout, you saw the fluency in his footwork. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I noticed that right off the bat, there was a certain rhythm that you say, this boy got it. Even in just the workout, you could see just the fluency, just the athleticism. You know what I mean? It was just he was just showing you a little, it wasn't giving you too much, but you know that this boy got it. What I saw from Ryan, I was like, I originally said Tank in 6. After the workout, I was like, okay, Tank in 3. Because I think think about this. The moment Tank, every fight you've seen him in, the moment he went for the kill, he pretty much got it. So whenever he goes for the kill on Ryan, whenever he decides to go ahead and push that, push it to the pedal, I think that's when it goes to go. Now, this is the thing with Ryan. No one has ever seen him with a credible fighter. You guys can say what you want about Fortuna. I've never said, "Ooh, Fortuna's don't let me watch." And when I ever seen Fortuna fight, I've never saw this. Hey, this is a guy with skill. This is a guy that's going to give somebody's problems. I saw him as a scrappy guy. He's got guts. He's got heart, but he doesn't have talent. He doesn't have size. Right. So for me, I didn't give that a lot of credit. People like to give him credit. Oh well. So I've never seen really anybody pressure Ryan. You've never seen anybody really attack his body, and I think Tank is going to do all of that. I think you saw Tank fight Pedraza, saw him throw punches and bunches, and I think that's the Tank that we're going to get. So I expect the early knockout based off just what I see. I just don't think Ryan is skilled. I think Ryan has potential. But in order for the potential to be realized, iron sharpens iron, and he hasn't been in with anyone that's really going to sharpen his skills. The Luke Campbell people, I've talked to people who think Luke Campbell is the best win on both of their resumes. You know what I mean? Like, how do you judge that? Luke Campbell has never won anything. Luke Campbell, you know what I mean, has never won any type title, lost every step of fight he ever had. But because he gave Lomachenko problems, they elevated him, which is ridiculous. So,
What's up, Shaq?
What's going on, brother? Long time. Chaco. I call him Chaco.
Yeah. It's good to hear your voice, man. It's good to hear your voice.
Yeah, brother.
Got the band back together. Boys are back in town. Word.
Yeah, definitely, man. Hey, and also Checkmate. I'm glad you were checking on me, brother. And it's good, really good to be back, man. Talking boxing with everybody, man, and just, you know what I'm saying, just, living life. You know what I mean? D-Hive, all y'all guys. Cozy, it's real good to be just in our domain right here, man. Just chopping it up. You know what I'm saying? And
100%.
Let's bring in our sister Nika on Friday if you go live.
Oh, no doubt, man. You know, Nika is my girl. I see she out in Puerto Rico loving life right
she's on
now.
vacation. Okay.
Yeah, she's on vacation. She is loving life right now. I seen her picture. She posting pictures and videos and everything coming across the timeline. Hey, I wish I could have a vacation, brother. But
yeah, you got some work, baby.
yeah, no doubt. So hey, everybody out there, hit the subscribe button, hit the like, whatever you got to do. Support this channel and all these good brothers up here. But listen though, checkmate. I was also we brought up Frank Martin because Frank seems like a boogeyman. All right. Now, Keyshawn's the only one that's throwing his name out. And from the talk of people, he's doing it for
real fast.
Go ahead.
Real fast.
Yeah.
On that. Yeah, gosh. Now that I know that you like Key, I feel bad. Look. Notice the young man, and that wasn't even a call out, but
yeah,
but gentlemen, he wants money. That's why he mentioned Big Fish.
Yeah,
I don't even call Big Fish by his real name no more because he's the Big Fish.
Yeah,
he
and
said,
hold on. Hey, hold on. Before you finish, I gotta say something. Y'all gonna laugh at this, but man, Steph, you said it, man. 7 months it went by. We still ain't got no Spence and Bud fight. You said it would never happen.
Thank you, Bud.
I had to say it, man. I hadn't talked about it, but 7 months ago, the last conversation we had 7 months ago.
Thank you, Bud.
Said, Julius,
that's
it's
a Bud
never
special.
gonna happen.
Did you think about that while you were serving?
While I was serving in the Army, right? I was definitely I thought about that. I was like, man, I wonder why. And then I thought that at one point it was on. And then the next thing I know, the first thing I saw when I got to my TV, the first thing, hadn't seen a fight in 6 months, 7 months. Excuse me, 7 months, right?
Right.
I pulled up Bud Crawford, right? I didn't know, y'all. This ain't no joke. This ain't no lie. I see him standing across the ring from a guy that fought Shane Mosley about 13 years ago. And I was like, I see all little black children and stuff at the fight and stuff. Well, I'm like, what's going on? I mean, I'm thinking that I'm looking at a charity fight or something.
See,
I'm like, what is this? And the next thing I know that I'm looking at, and they talking about for the world title. I'm like, what?
Damn.
Bud Crawford fighting that guy right there. Like, man, it was amazing, man. To this moment, I can't believe that happened. And how did any credible boxing person not lose their mind, checkmate, when that fight was made? I mean, I know we talking about the lightweights. I know this happened months ago, but I gotta revisit it, man. What?
If you want,
how did the public allow this to happen, checkmate? Did you do any videos on this?
Real quick, real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Real quick, check. So that's why he mentioned Big Fish's name. He wants money.
Okay. Right.
He didn't even say Frank's name. He didn't say anything like that. He said
Earl.
Arrow. He wants money. And he already, because y'all mentioned Bud and B&B Boxing, that's who he's a part of. They talk like that. They talk real slick and greasy like that. So we shall see, man. But yeah, let's go ahead. Let's revisit that.
Go ahead, Check. Tell me, Check, you made a video about this. Come on, man.
I made several videos about it because it broke my heart, brother. It broke my heart because, listen, it's not the fact that Bud didn't fight Earl next. It's the fact that he played all of us. If he would have said, you know what, I'm going to take a tune-up, I'm going to take this, and then I'm going to come back. If he would have said that in the beginning without going to the wire and then acting like it was, Spence's fault and this and that. And no, he played it. So they played us, I'm not going to mention the person's name, but who, if you know who did it, a certain YouTuber, you know what I mean? Basically it facilitated that. So I call them two snakes in the grass. You know what I'm saying? So they snaked us. And if that particular person didn't come back door and present, but with that opportunity, we would have got it. But because they always knew they had that in their back pocket months and months ago, even during the time, before they started negotiations, guess what? That's what the leverage they were using. So they were pushing it out of the time frame. Understand, if you got a certain time frame, say, hey, we got to book the venue. It has to go on by this date or we're going to have to push it back. They knew all of that. So when Bud says, hey, I agreed to everything they asked for. Okay, so if you agree to everything, why didn't the fight happen? I want this, I want that, I want that. But guess what? You're not the A side. You don't get to determine those things. You want transparency, you get a particular transparency. They already told you that. So again, to me, it was just like, I'm going to stick it to them. Because this is the thing. This is my whole thing from the beginning. I believe Crawford is
he breaking up for you guys?
Right. I believe.
Say that
again.
I
breaking up?
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, you broke up.
Yeah, you're breaking up. Yeah.
All right. How about now?
Yeah, you're
good now.
10-4. 10-4.
All right. Yeah. So I think Bud is jealous of Spence. I think he feels like, hey, I was undisputed. I should be the A side, or you know what I mean? I should be the headliner. I should be this. I should be that. And because he felt like he didn't get that type of respect, he decided to play the hardball. And one thing Bomac said was, hey, we got something he want. You know what I mean? So Bomac said that, like, a couple years ago, hey, we got something he want. That's why so he already presented the fact that they were going to dangle that to a 50-50. But guess what? 50-50 in this particular fight, it's not about really your undisputed status, because even with that, you were still undervalued. But while you on top right, you never built.
Hold on, let me let D-Hive say his little bit, because I don't want to get too much into these guys. I just had to let y'all know.
We got to. We got to. You brought it up. No, you brought it up.
Crazy.
We got to.
It was, because I'm telling you, man. I swear to you, checkmate, D-Hive. I'm not lying to you, Cozy. When the first thing I did, I turned my TV on. I wanted to catch up with all my fights. I wanted to watch all my fighters, top fighters, because I didn't want to do a show until I knew what I was talking about. I'm not one of these guys that jump on and they ain't got no knowledge of anything and they just up here saying crazy stuff. So I wanted to watch everything. So I watched Shakur miss weight. You get what I'm saying? So now I'm like, okay, this, that, and that. And I saw this guy fighting this guy and I lost my mind. Go ahead, D-Hive. I know you wanted to say something.
All I was going to say was that if you want a real blow-by-blow breakdown of why exactly things didn't happen, just go on Terrence Crawford's Instagram and watch that 20-minute video he put out. He snitches on himself multiple times. So, he thought he was coming out and explaining something and trying to clear the air. But the reality of it is he gave up what was actually going on. When you actually stitch together the inconsistencies between what Terrence Crawford ends up saying and what the YouTuber says, and you realize nothing actually matches up, and then you bring in what just happened with Adrian Broner and BLK Prime. Yeah, no, it was all BS from the beginning. So if you want,
hold on a second, BLK Prime, right? That's a news station or something, right?
We don't know what that is.
I mean, because I was going to ask. I mean, it sounds like something that bring on black movies and I'm just saying that's what it sounds like. BLK Prime sound like it showed black movies and some low budget films or something, maybe some porn. I mean, what is it, Cozy?
We don't know what that is. I don't know what that is.
Okay.
I don't know. I never heard of it a day in my life.
We're still trying to figure it out. And I've reached out to some people that are boxing journalists, some people that work in the industry, and I asked, do we have a reliable quote for the pay-per-view numbers? And based on their testimony plus my research, it's coming in at right under 40. So it did buns. It did triple plastic. It did no fucking numbers whatsoever.
The triple
So
Wait, 40 what?
40 grand, 40,000.
40,000
Oh,
buys.
that's actually more than I thought.
Right.
Really?
So literally, not
Wow.
literally, only the little zip code in Omaha, and maybe not even that. So it did no numbers for the amounts of money that they claim that they paid out. So that organization is probably somewhere in Chapter 11 right now. But yeah, no. So if you want to know what actually happened and why everything went south, let Terrence Carver tell you. Just go watch that video on Instagram if he hasn't deleted it already.
Gotcha. All right, man.
Can I just
All
go
right,
on the
now-
record real quick?
Yeah, go ahead,
I'll
Cozy.
just go on the record real quick. Bud's doing the same thing he did last time. This time, we're not getting this fight. I feel bad for Earl because Earl really wants to fight bad, but he's not really about it. He's wasting your time. You feel me? So you should just move on, man. Honestly.
Yeah, and him, and Earl and Espinosa are still down there entertaining that bullshit. That shit is hilarious to me. They're still.
The worst part about it is
Go
that
ahead.
he was a free agent. He was a free agent. There was no other promoters to jump in and mess it up. You know what I mean? He messed it up himself. And then he's basically, I don't trust Earl Al Heyman. He's working for Earl. Well, guess what? He offered you the opportunity to come so he could work for you too. You know what
Hold
I mean?
on. Did he say he don't trust a black man?
He said he didn't
Of
trust
course.
Al Heyman. He said Al Heyman was working for Earl, so he wasn't working for him. So
go ahead.
Go
ahead.
I'm gonna send you the vids
after this. All right. Please send it to me later. Go ahead, Steph.
Yeah, Julius. When we first met, I told you, gentlemen, we wouldn't get this, and you guys, why? Because I told you, I said the ops on this is all wrong. The actions never led to an actual action of this happening. Never, not once. If you look at the men's history, it doesn't add up to such a big fight like this, and that's why I said he wouldn't do it. I also used some choice words then. I won't do it this time. But
you did say it.
Long story short, Julius, you didn't miss much. All that happened is, look, man, last summer, Terrence Crawford, he knew what was at stake. So he appeased us boxing fans, is what he did. And all those negotiations and whatnot. That's why he did negotiate, whether it's good, middle, or bad faith. He was appeasing us. But like I said from the beginning, he had no intentions of fighting that man.
You said it.
And in hindsight now, and looking at it in hindsight now, what I think, I can tell what I was thinking then versus now. What I was thinking then was that, look, man, this dude is scared of the bright lights. He's not like that. He's not built like that, man. Talking about Big Fish and Company, they offered this man. They offered him, think about that. They offered this man due diligence to get everything done. It comes out that they offered him 35% of forever revenue on one of the biggest fights in all of boxing history, supposedly, and it's for undisputed in a glamour division. They gave him everything he requested because he's the B-side. That's what the B-side do. They negotiate as much as they can get from the A side because, like you guys said, they don't dictate anything. They gave him anything and everything that he wanted and requested it plus more. He said no. That let me know, Stephen Brown, this dude is scared. This dude is scared of the bright lights. He's scared to get beat. He's scared to lose the O. I mean, you say no to that type of money, man. And then it also, with that bright lights comment is that, when I was coming up, we called him nervous breakdown. It's mental illness and all this other crap. I just say, hey, you need Jesus. But he said no to all that. So, back in October, because that's when it was, Julius, it was October when Mike Kopp reported that he was falling out of there and he was going to fight Avenues. When I saw that, I said, God, dog, man, this dude. And like Checkmate, it broke my boxing heart. I was kind of mad, but not mad. I was just like, it is what it is, man. We can't force this guy to do anything that we want him to do.
Absolutely.
But I really think that's what it is, gentlemen. This dude scared the bright lights, and I think he was shocked that they actually did business with him because, like Checkmate said, he was a free agent. There were no holds. There were no roadblocks.
But you know, I'm gonna say something about the bright lights. Yeah, go ahead. My fault. Go ahead.
But the BLK Prime stuff, I'm gonna use a Wall Street. I'm gonna use a Wall Street term with you guys. That's a dump company. That was just to get him out of the situation. Now, granted, he was already doing business or whatever he calls it, but that was, you saw how 6 months later it slid right in and he slid right out and exited out left. And he's still to this day running, gentlemen. The dude's running everywhere. He's a liar too. At the same, I'll prove it. He said right after Mike Cott released that, you know, you Apple users, because I'm an Android user, you guys have your Apple Notes, and then you can screenshot it and show. When he typed what his excuse was, he said the reason why he didn't fight the man is because of timing and money. You fast forward, he said, after this tough competitor in Avanesian, I'm going to come back, and the plan is to beat Earl Spence's ass. That's a lie. He has prove otherwise. This dude is going everywhere else except to Big Fish and Company. And now,
yeah, man, that's exactly
fast forward.
I'm
gonna end it right here. Forward. Big Fish. If you guys ask me, me and my brother are arguing about this. Well, we're not arguing. We've just been talking about it. Haven't seen him since last April. It's already a year now, gentlemen. Already a year. I don't. First off, yeah, this is what I want to say. There's no one to fight. And that's why there's no news with him. He made it pretty clear last April that he had one name and objective, and that's what I want. That's what I want to get. Nothing else. And then I don't know if you've heard, Julius, he got sanctioned to fight Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman is one of the biggest shit talkers I've ever heard in just this era of boxing. Not one peep, Julius, has not commented once.
Well, you know, he did the exact same thing when he was a champion and Earl was the the contender. He doesn't want that fight either. Let me add this little bit of boxing news, a fight that's going to be coming up, a show that's going to be coming up rather on May 13th on Showtime. We got Alberto Palullo, the WBA champion, against Rolly Romero. Gary Antoine Russell is injured. I don't know what the injury is, so he's off that card. And we got
that's news to me.
Bartholomew is going to be on the card now, taking his face. And look, we got the guy from Uzbekistan. I can't pronounce this guy's name, man. He's the guy that fought. Akhmedov, something like that. I believe he's the guy that, he's gonna fight Kenneth Sims Jr.
Ooh, you're talking about the guy that fought. You talking about the guy that damn near whooped Barrios' ass.
Yeah, exactly. He was a champ at that time, the regular champ, hardcore violent fighter. From Uzbekistan. Yeah, he's gonna fight Kenneth Sims. That's gonna be a barn burner right there.
Kenneth Sims has some shit.
Yeah, and Bartholomew is going to fight Omar Juarez.
Now, Julius,
Bartholomew Rancis?
Yeah, Rancis Bartholomew.
Oh, okay.
He's going to
Julius,
fight
what were you going to say about my bright lights comment?
Yeah, guys, look, man, it's just like this. Me and Checkmate is real deep into the basketball, NBA, whatever. And there are certain guys, and y'all gonna know this right away, that can perform during the regular season. They can perform during the playoffs, but when they get into the NBA finals, it's a whole nother ball game. And like you say, when the lights are the brightest, because this will be the brightest light he'll ever have, it's like I was talking about some fighter earlier. Some of these guys, man, don't want to get embarrassed. For some reason, I don't understand. It's sports, man. It's sports. There are going to be times, if you play long enough, I don't care what the sport is, it's going to come a time you're going to get embarrassed. You know what I'm saying? It's competition. There are going to be guys that whoop you. There are going to be guys that beat you. That's why I be telling guys, don't get too caught up in Devin Haney, Tank, Shakur. Those are good fighters. But, man, it's some people that will make them the lesser fighter on that night. You get what I'm saying? And I've learned that from my many years of watching boxing. I have seen great fighters be lesser guys on that night. It still does not mean they're not great. I seen Vernon Forrest beat Shane Mosley and took his candy from him and sent him home crying. And then Shane Mosley came right back years later and knocked out Margarito after Margarito had beat Cotto. That means that he regained everything that he's lost. A loss means nothing. You can recover from a loss. That's why everybody needs to fight everybody. Tank needs to fight Devin. Devin needs to fight Shakur. Shakur needs to fight Devin. They need to fight Frank Martin. Earl needs to fight Bud. Bud needs to fight Earl. If not, fight Boots Ennis. Hey, Keith Thurman, I mean, he by at the end of the road, fight somebody. You get what I'm saying? It's okay to lose in competition. That's what it's there for, a winner and a loser. And I'm just sick of, I mean, look, people can say what they want to about Deontay Wilder. He was willing to jump in that ring for the second and third time against Tyson Fury after the first fight wasn't necessarily the way he wanted it. He still went back for 2 and 3. You got to have that kind of heart because you in a gladiator sport. I mean, it's a sport. Regardless of the pay, how many fans come up, it's still competition. And the one thing that I kind of seen, even gone 7 months and coming back, is that, man, boxing fans are some of the most ignorant, negotiable fans I've ever seen in my life. Checkmate, you into the basketball game. Is it not a big difference between a basketball fan and a boxing fan?
The difference is, boxing fans, you will ride for your favorite fighter, win, lose, or draw, no matter how fashion. Even if he sucked, you're going to say he's great. In basketball, that is, you get to see it on display, all the time, a couple times a week. So I don't know. It's hard to quantify, because even with basketball, us Jules, the team we like, we will tell you he's sucking right now. We would tell you the team suck. We would tell you the coach suck. And in boxing, they won't tell you that their favorite fighters suck. For instance, okay, I know this is way off topic as far as the particular fighters, but Canelo gets dominated by Bivol. They still say Canelo is God. They still say Canelo. They still say Canelo is pound for pound great, the face of boxing. He got whitewashed.
Hold on one second. D-Hive, what was that you said today on Twitter that Bivol did to Canelo?
Well, I made 2 posts, but I said that Bivol's such a thug that he's not going to agree to fight Canelo unless it's at Canelo's own weight class where he feels the most comfortable.
Right. I sent you that video today.
Go ahead, Checkmate.
I sent you that video where Bivol said, listen, I want to fight him at 168 because I don't want any excuses. He said, maybe 175 wasn't his weight. He said he may have been sluggish. He said, so I want to fight him at his own weight so we won't have no excuses, and I want to win all the belts. You know what I mean? Right. So I love that Bivol is doing that because he's taking away all the excuses. If you lose, but was 175 your weight when you beat old drunker Kovalov? You know what I mean? It was okay then, but now, maybe that's not my stop with the excuses. You know what I'm saying? And then, like I said, the same thing with Loma. Loma loses to a 15-0. The person I still called the prospect at the time because he's still developing Teofimo. You know what I mean? And again, they still had him as pound for pound. They still had him as pound for pound. 2 fights later, still had him after that loss, and didn't have 2 undisputed champions. They didn't have
Like it never
Jamel
happened.
Charlo on those pound for pound. They didn't have Haney on those pound for pounds. How are you going to have a 17-2 Loma on your pound for pound and not have these fighters there? How are you going to have a person like Inoue at the time? He's been on pound for pound since 2017, 2018. You know what I mean? When he was 15-0 and had a regular WBA belt, the same belt that y'all say is not real for Tank. You know what I'm saying? So again, this is the difference between boxing and basketball. We tell it like it is. We expect accountability. You know what I mean? With boxing, you know, they will sweep things under the rug and still put you on a pedestal. That's because of the propaganda, artificial anointment. With basketball, the numbers are there, the productivity is there. You know, you under the lights, we can rewind. We see, we know what you're doing. We can't bloviate. Boxing and do it all the time.
Also, since we bringing that up, I was extremely upset with LeBron James in overtime last night. He was tired and he was throwing the ball all the way and getting the ball taken from it. And he's my man now, but I had to call it like I saw it last night. Man, them turnovers were terrible he was doing. But
it was a sloppy game.
Yeah, it was a sloppy game, definitely.
Real quick on that too, Julius, because you know I support the Lakers. I'm out here in SoCal.
Yeah, no doubt.
And LeBron's my favorite player.
Mine's too.
But man, no excuse. He actually took the season off, and then right when they started to get a little good, he snuck right back in there off this mysterious injury.
He ramped up, right?
But respect to Rob Pelinka and crew who put together those people and got the trades down. You know, you got, for the longest we didn't have a perimeter. We didn't have perimeter shooting. Now we got that what's his name, number 7. I can't think of his name. Who comes in, shoots
Brown and Beasley.
Troy Brown.
Yeah, Troy Brown.
He comes in and does that. They got that young cat, dark-skinned fellow who's really athletic and all over the place on defense. He's really good.
Vanderbilt, number 2.
Right.
I think I've always thought, you know, and I'll say this and I'll shut up finally. Man, when AD got signed a couple summers ago, 2 and 3 summers ago, I said that's cool, but that's not it. And it's just it's still proven. It's proven that to this day, like as well as he's done, and it's, you know, and he carried the third of the back half on that back 9 of this season. So kudos to him. But it just hasn't transpired well. And it's not that they can't mesh. It's just that I mean, I don't want to start rumors, but you know, those 2 big guys, those 2 big names aren't like that. They're not cool like that, and it's playing. It's playing out.
I don't think
playing out in the field now. It's playing out on the field now. So whatever. We, you know, go Lakes. I'm actually supporting the Bucks this year. Giannis is probably my favorite player for the better part of the last 2 or 3 seasons, you know, back and forth or on both sides of the ball. Or I'll say this, I'll be watching the East more so this year. I do want to see what Phoenix does, but the East, you know, kind of surprised me with some of their hard-nosed, scrappy teams.
Yeah, the playoffs it's gonna be interesting. I could tell that. Let me catch up on some of the Tank undercard fights. All right. David Morrell. David Morrell is going to be back in action. And I know that a lot of people are looking to see him and Benavidez fight, because we all know that Canelo's not going to fight Benavidez next. So Morrell got Sean and Becco, African guy that can punch a little bit, but not a real super solid fighter. Also, one guy that I think, good guy, but I just have to be honest. I think that they need to go ahead and just take his license away, because he seemed like a guy that's close to getting injured. Gabe Rosado is going to have a rematch with Beck the Bully. I don't understand how this fight made that card. I'm like, come on, Oscar, or something better.
Yeah, that's a DAZN right there.
Fight. Yeah, his undercard.
Actually, you know what, Julius? No, that's because he was scheduled to fight Lardo, and Lardo came in 20 pounds over. So I think this is their just due for Gabe. Yeah. And of course, you know, Beck lost to him, and that's someone who they support also in their stable. So that, and then like I think that was
Beck gonna win this one.
Yeah, I think Beck gonna.
Yeah, he'll be prepared. Yeah.
Yeah, because Gabe is a shot fighter, man, and I mean he, like I said,
like 13 losses or something like that.
Yeah, he might have 20 losses, but the thing is that he's been getting brutally beaten. Listen, man, Triple G almost took one of the man out 10 years ago. So just imagine all the beatings he done got since then. Whether he won the fight or lost.
whooped his ass pretty good.
Yeah,
I just think it's disrespectful. I think it's disrespectful of Tank, of Card. I think they're trying to sabotage you. You don't put this type of trash in front and center. Listen, I'm not even going to show up until the I don't want to see any of these. I don't want to see any of these. Well, I'm going to watch it in the theater. Okay. So they're having fight parties, but then I want to watch I've been watching the big fights in the movie theaters, and these big, huge with the leather reclining seats, and man, I've been watching that. This would be my 5th fight. Actually, I've had 5 fights that I watch in the theater, so I'm addicted to it now since Wilder Fury, right?
Yeah.
So I watched the last 2 Tanks fights in the theater, so this will be my 3rd time Tank fight in the theater.
That's the last great card, by the way, because that was an all heavyweight card. I missed that. I like that.
I'm embarrassed. I'm ashamed that someone's really, this is y'all say this is the biggest fight. Why are you going to put such garbage? They were talking about putting Charles Martin on the card, but with the Gabe Rosado, who's lost like 13, 14 fights, this is so embarrassing. And it's just like, it's not a cohesive, like Tank's last card, man, I was doing cartwheels and flips. How are you going to have Boots? You're going to have Andre, you're going to have, Ellis, you're gonna have all these top fighters that we want to see, display their, crafts on a Tank card, regardless of whatever. I was excited. I'm like, this is an all-star. How do you go from that to this BS? You know what I'm saying? So to me, it's
because after every little detail, they didn't want Ryan to bolt again, because they hang up on one thing. Ryan talking about, oh well, my mental health, I could just go fight somebody else. That's probably trying to prevent that shit.
I mean,
but let me remind you,
but I'm still embarrassed. I'm ashamed, and I'm not showing up until Tank's fight.
Let me ask y'all a question. We're all Devin Haney fans, right? So
absolutely,
Devin Haney, Vasily Lomachenko, May 20th. I like both guys. I like Devin more, but that ain't a pay-per-view fight. That's a regular ESPN fight. Why is this
whoa.
I feel the same way.
Let me put my disclaimer. I mean, that's cool.
I think that's Bob trying to give Lomachenko some paper more than anything.
All right, go ahead. What were you going to say, Cleb?
I was going to say, I mean, look, that's a fight that we all need to support, though. That's, to me at least, actually, I don't even want to say to me. I'll say to you guys, too. Look, that's Devin's coming out party. As far as yes, in Vegas, I kind of want to be there. I think I may pull up to that. I feel like that's what I'll pull up to. I was really trying to get out to David and Caleb, but
hold on, Cleb. Let me tell you, on that undercard, man,
I think it's really good. I'll beat you to it. It's really good, man.
Hey, you get a chance to see Muhammad Ali's grandson. So
no, you got Nakatani. There's another card on there. Real fast, I'm gonna go back though.
It's a different Nakatani fighting Andrew Maloney for the WBO,
and that's his coming out party. That's his coming out party where I feel like, and he's already fought in front of some Americans, but this is pay-per-view in a big setting. But before even that, back to Tank's card. I wanted, because I was listening with Czech. I just want to remind you guys, most big time pay-per-view cards, or at least in recent history, are kind of just that shitty. You guys, I want to remind you guys, like, look, like a card like that, like Tank and Ryan, you realize all that dough is going to the headliners. Not much is trickling down. Right. So that's why you have those type of names and those type of fights. Shout out to L-Dub for reminding me on that. That's why we have what we have. And that's a fact. That's a fact. That's why Rosado's on there, man. And if anything, I bet you Rosado will be paid very well.
Go ahead, Cozy. What were you gonna say?
I can't listen.
No, are you disagreeing with what I'm saying, or do you got something else?
Yeah, I disagree with what you're saying because of the fact Gabe Rosado is on the undercard, stuff like that. So to me, I'm like, all right, Gabe Rosado, I don't know how much he's probably commanding, maybe 300, 400,000 at this point. Who knows for a fight? But you couldn't get Frank Martin on there for the same price?
Right.
I'm not sure about
Frank
that,
Martin's not
like,
making
or
buku
another.
dollars like that though.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I mean. Frank
So,
Martin's not making that.
but back to what
So
I
put
said
him on
though,
the
a
undercard
card.
instead of him and Trayvon Marshall. I'd rather see him on the card than these other guys you're talking about, respectfully.
Sure. First off, I mean, or let me frame it this way: when you have a mid-tier card playing in about, put anyone on there. But what I was saying and am saying still is that the reason why it's like that is because they can't afford. You got to think, perhaps even Frank Martin gets there, he goes, yeah, I'll do it. For how much again? Nah, I'm good. I'm not doing that. I'm not fighting for that. Everyone is saying no, I bet. That's why we're not getting good fights on such a big pay-per-view card.
All right, let me add also, fellas. Okay, D Hive checked out. Let me add another fight that it got announced. Where two. This first one we all heard on the card on Saturday. Josh Taylor and Teofimo in New York. I actually think that T.O. got a chance of winning that fight. I'm not crazy about Josh Taylor. This is why I told guys that I felt that Shakur and Devin and these guys can move up to 140 and take over from those guys immediately. But that fight is happening in New York. Also, 2 weeks later on Showtime for WBC interim middleweight title, we got Carlos Adames is going to fight J-Rock, Julian Williams. We also got Erickson Lubin and Luis Aries. They're going to fight on the undercard. So those fight, and of course we know that later that night we got Cool Boy Steph and your man Steph anyway. So we got a big fight coming up that night, for the marbles at 122. So
that's no. I think that's July. That's July, no?
Yeah, July 25th. Okay, sorry, July 25th. July 25th.
Yeah, that fight.
Yeah, because it ended up getting pushed back a couple months. Yeah, but any of those particular fights interest any of y'all? Cozy, Check, Steph, which ones? I know Steph looking forward to July 25th, but how about any of the other fights?
All of them, man. All of them. Showtime put that schedule out about a month, maybe half a month ago. Consistency. Mm-hmm. And I think within my biasness, when I do finally sit down and start watching, I'm usually impressed. Like last weekend, on Fendora's card, most of those fights were good, man. They were all pretty good fights.
First fight was real violent fight.
Right. Yeah. That's what I'm thinking about in particular, really. Yeah. So shout out to Luis too. That's good stuff. So consistency always from PBC and Showtime. Gotta love it. As far as Inoue and Cool Boy go, yes, you're right. I can't wait. I'm still kind of shocked that it's happening, really. You would think that I would have a lot to say. I really don't, man. Only one word that comes to my head is nervousness. We're still very nervous about that.
Can I add something that came to my way? And that is this. Cozy Checkmate. Y'all always heard me say this. Al Heyman does not stand in the way of making no fights. Steph said, I want the fight anyway. I don't care about networks, nothing. Al Heyman allowed him to make the fight. It wasn't about this side of the street. I'm on that side of the street. It was, I want to fight this guy. Al Heyman gave his blessings. Al Heyman don't stand for this. And the only reason I'm making this comment is for those people that say Al Heyman dictates who's going to do this and that. He allows guys to step out and make fights. Now y'all go ahead and shoot on.
I absolutely agree with you there. And on top of that, funny enough, even though this fight is being showed on ESPN, Top Rank is not the entity that agreed to this fight. It was Inoue's Japanese promoters and handlers. You feel what I'm saying? So they didn't even really have nothing to do with it.
Ohashi.
But I agree with you. Yeah, Ohashi. I'm definitely looking forward to that fight. That's a true 50-50. That fight, the winner might be able to be considered the pound for pound guy at this point. The number one, just because we haven't seen Bud and Spence think to Bud and, you know what I'm saying, but that's another story. Also with the Taylor Teofimo fight, I'm not crazy about Taylor either. My only thing is Teofimo is not the person I think that will beat Josh Taylor, because Josh Taylor has showed vulnerability against a person with a nice consistent jab. You saw the rounds that Regis was beating Josh Taylor. He was working off the jab. Jack Catterall had Josh Taylor confused for a majority of that
fight back on the internet yet?
The jab.
I feel like they took that fight away and it hasn't been up. Talking about Regis.
I don't know.
I've been looking forward forever, man.
That's on YouTube.
Is it? Yeah, it's on YouTube. Okay, all right. It wasn't for the longest.
What's going on? Hold on a second. What's going on, good brother? How you doing, man?
What's up, Julius?
Hey, I'm doing good, man.
What's up to the panel?
Good to have you, brother.
What's up, y'all?
What's up, man? I really wanted to get some smoke with D-Hop, but
D-Hop checked out, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
He was quiet when he checked out too. I didn't even know it was gone.
I'm gonna have to see him.
Let me get you in there too, bro.
He gonna have to see me eventually, one of these. But
you got called out, D-Hive. You heard it right here, no doubt. But what you think about what we're talking about, man? About the lightweights, you know what I'm saying?
So me and D have been going back and forth, and Art, about Shakur Stevenson. And I don't know if you remember, I've been on this energy this whole time. Shakur Stevenson beats all these dudes, bro. He's the best fighter below 147.
You think he beats?
In fact,
I won't smoke with you. I won't.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Go ahead.
I'm glad. In fact, I'm gonna go even further.
Stop playing.
I'm gonna go even further. I'm gonna go even further. This might even make you mad. I believe Shakur Stevenson is the most skilled fighter on the planet.
Woo!
All right,
D-Hive. Hey, D-Hive.
Oh my God, bro! This is the problem with boxing, bro. This is the problem. I'm telling y'all. Yo, a dude fights a nobody, and then people are like, "Oh, he's the best in the world." Like, based off what? Him beating a yo-yo man? Like, can he fight somebody decent first before you say that?
Okay. I would love to rebuttal to that, but go ahead.
4 fights ago, they were saying how horrible Shakur was looking. Y'all remember that? 4 fights ago, the whole box, everybody, ESPN, the box, Twitter, everybody was going on how bad Shakur looked, and he was giving excuse, this and that. But listen, you have your right to your favorite, so I will never challenge who you like and who you think is challenged. So I think your personal perception of who you choose your favorite, I think that's a personal choice, and I would never attack that. But I am here to say that Tank will KO Shakur.
Okay, fair enough. I highly disagree, but I can see why you would say that.
Yeah.
Look. The reason why I believe Shakur Stevenson is the best fighter in the world is...
I apologize for my passion too. My fault, yo.
No. Actually, I like that. That's what we need on these type of panels. Like, it'll be boring as hell if everybody just circle jerk each other.
City jerks.
But the reason why. Yeah, big pause.
I want to see all them guys fight each other. All of them. This shouldn't even be a 100% debate. We should have already seen it. And I'm going to tell you, this is the thing that I have against this era, man. You don't have to wait till guys are 33 years old before they fight. It's okay for two 24-year-olds to fight. It's okay. Matter of fact, it's at their absolute best. And there's no discrepancies on the winner or loser when a guy fights when they're 23 and 24 years old.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
with that, They have been saying that Tank has been ducking this and Tank has been ducking that. You seen the video I put out. Listen, Jules, the video, you know, I had to put it out on YouTube, right? Because Twitter is 2 minutes and 20 seconds. But I said, no, this is too. I had to put the whole version out and I had to put it on YouTube because I want people to see the facts that Tank has called out Devin and the calls have been coming unanswered. But yet Bill Haney says Tank says everything but says fight. Tank has said fight. He said, I want the winner of Devin and Kambosos. And then he says after they fought, he was like, okay, then let's make this fight after I fight Ryan. So Tank has been calling him out, but boxing ignores it. And even when I show them, they still make excuses for it. So they need to fight. I don't want to see Shakur versus Devin next. I need Shakur.
Why not?
Let me explain, sir.
Okay. Go ahead.
No, it should be right now. It should be Tank and Dev.
That's my point. That's my point. Right. It should be Tank versus Devin.
Oh, yeah.
Right now.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. You know what Devin Haney fans are like.
Yes, we agree now. Okay. Now I got you. I agree.
My point is Shakur just stepped up, right? He just had his first fight, but they were calling for this fight even before he had his first 135 fight. Oh, Shakur next, Shakur next. But the same token, y'all can say Tank fought Tank fighting a 26 fighter in Leo Santa Cruz, who's a 4-division 5-time champion, Hall of Famer. If you ask me, he still holds records, you know what I mean, for most punches thrown and landed in rounds and fights and things of that nature, right? But people discredit that, right? Tank just fought a 5'9" Hector Garcia, champion at 130. Oh, Tank's dragging somebody up. But Shakur gets to walk in, moonwalk backwards and automatically get that shot. I just don't agree with that. Okay,
he's a two-weight champion. Yes, he gets to jump the line. That's how it works.
Wait. No, he lost his belts on the scales. He lost his belts on the scales.
Right, he lost his, but Leo Santa Cruz was a 4-division champion. So don't have the same passion and reverence for one fighter and discredit Tank for fighting a Hall of Famer. So no one's going to say, wait, let me finish, my brother. No one's going to say Tank is fighting or Devin is fighting a 126-pounder when they fight Shakur. So don't disrespect Tank for fighting, these viable fighters who deserve the opportunity. Shakur needs to wait after Tank, and that's it. If Tank don't fight Devin next, I'm mad at everybody. Go ahead, my brother.
Look.
Wait.
If Tank wanted to fight all these people, he could have been fought them. Let's be honest. Because nobody's going to turn down Tank Davis fighting. You know that.
Okay, well, I'm going to post a link in the room.
I got to ask you a question after y'all done.
And you let me know. Go ahead, brothers. I'm going to post a link in the room. Go ahead.
Who turned down Tank Davis fights like turned down a Canelo fight to a smaller scale? Like, nobody's turning down that shit. Go ahead.
Let me ask you a question, man, because you said Shakur is better than everybody from 147 down. Just explain to the panel how Shakur Stevenson is better than Earl Spence. I just have to hear it.
I said below 147.
Actually,
you said 147 down. So if you're saying he's not, that's cool too. All right, never mind.
Okay. Well, either way, I can still explain why I feel like he's better than all these people. So look.
Go ahead. You got
Shakur Stevenson of all these young fighters. Shakur Stevenson has shown he's got the deepest bag. He can fight you on the front foot. He can walk you down. He can fight in the pocket. He's got the best distance control in the entire sport. He can literally stand right in front of you and just pick you apart. He don't got to move his feet. People say, well, he ain't got no footwork. No, he just don't have to use his feet like Devin Haney or Tank Davis. I mean, he can if he needs to, as he showed against Nakatila. But really, he can also stand right in the pocket with you and just pick you apart. How many fighters can do that in the sport right now?
D-High, if you want to try to jump back in, come on and try. Go ahead.
All the people you mentioned can do exactly that.
They can't. Especially not Devin Haney. Devin Haney cannot find the inside. No disrespect to you, but Devin Haney is not an inside fighter.
That's fine and fair, but just off footwork alone, that's why I picked Dev to beat Shakur. And like you said, people say he doesn't have footwork. He doesn't. Prime example. He walks straight to you. The dude has great same upper body movement as what's my man's name? Canelo. They have great upper body movement. They're literally doing all this moving around right in front of you, but their feet are planted in cement. Dude, stand right in front of Tank, go ask the other 28 and 29 guys who decide to stand right in front of Tank. Hector gave up on his stool, because he was standing right in front of Tank. He was like, wow, he's getting hit, man.
It's blind.
But he still doesn't get hit.
And then one more thing too. He does the same thing with Ryan Garcia. He did it when I saw it again. I literally watched like 4 rounds of that fight last weekend and turned it off because I was like, he's still doing the same shit. Literally, he's standing there. Hang on. He's standing right there.
Hold
right?
on. Before you finish, Cozy about to get off so D-Hive can jump back on. Cozy, I appreciate you coming on, brother. And we're gonna come back in, all right?
Absolutely, no problem, man.
All right.
Boys be safe. Also, just one thing before I go.
Yeah,
saying Shakur can fight on the inside, and then like comparing it to Earl Spence is insanity. But I'm out.
Who said that? Who said that?
All right.
I never said that, but fair enough.
All right. Hey, you went out for a second, brother.
Yeah. I was gonna say that he still does. He still does, like, he still just literally lifts his chin like that up. Like, that's all he does. That's his evading move to get away. He just does this, or he slicks away and he just bends backward. That's because his footwork is not as good as y'all think it is.
No,
you do
it's
that
because
against. Hang on. You do that against someone like Tank, who's got power out of this world and is smart, who I said can, and frankly, that's who I compare to Shakur. I don't compare it to any other guy. I compare him to the guys who his regular contemporaries are, like a Tank, like a Dev, like Tio, and cats like that.
Mm-hmm.
You do that against them who have a good boxing acumen, who are able to pick off of that, dude, you're going to get knocked out. You do that against Dev, who's a little bit bigger than you, great reach, a great boxer. Yeah, he doesn't have power on the inside, but he can use his footwork to get in and out of position. There are a lot of ways to win a boxing match, man. And I'm cool with everything you said, man. Like, no beef. I'm just saying, I just think his style against this style, he's either going to have trouble with, or he's definitely going to get beat. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, but Bass, look, he just because he was walking everybody down his last 5 fights, does that mean that's the only way he knows how to fight? I think he showed against Nakatila he's got great footwork too if he needs to move around the ring. You're forgetting this is a silver medalist Olympian. He's got great boxing skills, and that's why Devin Haney's got no chance against him, because Tank has a chance because he can knock you out. You're not gonna outbox the master boxer. So what answers does Devin Haney have? You can't beat him on the inside. You're not better than him on the mid range. Well, you're just gonna jab and grab, like the whole fight's not gonna work, bro. You need a more variety in your skill set to beat Shakur Stevenson in that.
And that's the way you want to jump in there?
Yeah. So I posted the link in there for you, Dirk. I want you, at your leisure, take a look at it, and then you can decide if
all right, Cozy back, okay? Because D-Hive's had the lead. All right, go ahead.
So this is the thing. You say, and again, you have your right to your opinion, but when you say he has these best attributes, is his footwork better than Tank's? I don't think so. We obviously know his power is not best. Yes. Zero. Shakur has never displayed the type of footwork that Tank displays ever. Okay, I think he's a very crafty fighter. I have nothing negative to say about it. I just think when it comes down to it, you know what I mean? People think Tank is just power. I don't know what it is about people who look at Tank and not see this master boxer. The fact that he's 5'5", he's already coming in at a deficit in every particular fight, right? So think about this. This guy has a higher degree of difficulty because he has to maneuver in between guys who are longer, bigger, and who have longer reach. And he does it magnificently. You know what I mean? He did that against a 5'11" Barrios. He's taller than 5'10", because you can see it, Ryan. Barrios is much bigger than Ryan. He's going to do that against Ryan. You know what I mean? With Hector, he's giving, because people say Tank get hit too much. Do you realize there's only 2 fights that Tank has got hit over 100 times? Okay, the most he's ever got hit was when he fought
Santa Cruz.
Isaac Cruz with a broken one hand, and Isaac Cruz landed 121 punches. Okay, and other than that, the next highest landed on over 100 was Pedraza, who landed 117. You know what I mean? Yet you got people landing 200 punches on Loma. Y'all say he got excellent. It's been 6 fighters who landed over 100 punches on Loma, but yet y'all say he's got masterful defense. He's this, he's that. You know what I mean? So you guys don't give Tank credit. With Oscar Valdez, not Oscar Valdez, the Devin guy, the 130 guy Devin fought. Was it Valdez? The Shakur Valdez.
Jojo Diaz.
Diaz landed Valdez landed 140 punches on Devin, but you guys say, "Oh, he's a master defense." All of these boxers that you guys would say master defenses.
Jojo Diaz.
Okay. But name the numbers. Name the numbers for Shakur Stevenson though.
Yes, I'll bring it up for you right now. There has been a couple of fighters who landed 100 punches on Shakur Stevenson. Okay, really? I'm not taking away anything from them. I'm just saying, when you edify a person that said that their defense is out of this world, you got to also say, okay, well, what has he done that this person hasn't done? You know what I mean? And are
we really comparing their defenses? Well, I hope we're not doing that.
Well, why aren't you? Why?
Because no offense. Tank Davis' defense is not on the same level as Shakur Stevenson.
Well, you say this, sir, but like I said, only 2 fighters that ever landed 100 punches on him. Okay,
everybody gets at least. Even Floyd guy had plenty of fights landing 100 punches on him, and he's the greatest of all time.
Okay, exactly. That's my point. So guess what? So if you're not gonna land these punches on, isn't that what defense is really all about? When Tank gets hit, he chooses to get hit. Riley landed 22 punches to fight, and y'all say Riley was carried. People saying Riley did this, Riley did. No, he didn't. Okay, so people say, oh, Barrios did this. Well, Tank outlanded Barrios. Barrios didn't land 100 punches. You know what I mean? And that fight went 11 rounds. Okay, so my point is, people make these assumptions. I don't understand, because when you see Tank stand in the pocket to take one to give, because he know he's got what he got in his arsenal, and he generally lands when he needs to land and get you out of there. Isaac Cruz, okay, Tank obviously outlanded Isaac Cruz, and he outboxed Isaac Cruz with one hand. So when you talk about Tank defense, you have to, defense to me is about the footwork, it's about the IQ. You know what I mean? It's about the hit and not get hit. Okay, but it's also about the levels of fighters. When you talk about Shakur Stevenson, let's be honest, brother, he has not fought the caliber of fighters that Tank has fought. No matter how much you love a person, you got to say, okay, I got to be real. Who's the best fighter Shakur has fought? Who's the best fighter? People say Tank hasn't fought anybody, but he went up to challenge the 5'11", 140 champion, okay, and dominated. He just dominated a guy who obliterated Colbert. You know what I mean? So he fought Isaac Cruz, to me, as a top 5 at 135. Okay, you know what I mean? So they give him shtick about Gamboa, but guess what? Tank did better against Gamboa than Devin Haney and Bud did. Okay, Gamboa landed 13% versus Tank while throwing over 600 punches. Okay, so people don't look at the numbers. Whatever the case may be, people try to pretend Tank don't have good defense. You know what I mean? And that's not the truth, sir.
No, but look, here's the difference. Shakur is getting these numbers while walking people down. Those numbers will be a lot lower if he would just fight on the back foot the whole time and make it boring. He could do that if he wanted to. But people are landing 11% of their punches on Shakur Stevenson while he's walking them down. And on top of that, he's landing 60%. At least this last fight, he landed 60% of his punches on Yoshino, whatever his name is. You know how hard it is to be defensively responsible while walking people down. That's the hardest thing to do in boxing.
I'm gonna add something. Shakur has taken on the style of a guy, and Dirk, you might not have heard me when I was saying these things 7, 8, 9 months ago, when I said that guys need to take the approach of winky right a lot of times, because the reason that guys don't land a lot of shots on certain guys that are defensive that go forward is Pernell Whitaker start doing that. Winky right. They lead with their jab and they walk guys down, because it's all about pivoting. It's all about the angles that you can get someone at. That's how you can go about beating up on guys while coming forward, and their offense is and timing. You pick up their timing. In the first round, Shakur was throwing a check right hook to check, not to just catch him with it, but he was trying to catch the timing of his punches. Shakur real crafty and smart. He real smart. But as far as the matchups, I would like to see, because Shakur is big enough to fight guys at 140. He's big enough to fight the lightweights. But something I said in the beginning, I'm going to say now, we have to see these fights, because we see these fights, we having a different conversation. We're not talking about hypothetical. We talking about what we saw happen. And I think we got to see it. We got to start to see these things. If I'm wrong, y'all can disagree with me. But I'm thinking that we got to see these fights. And unbeknown to what Bill Haney said, that was a lie. Bob Arum has no problem putting Shakur and Devin Haney in the ring together. I'll take that to my grave, believing it. And we got to see these guys fight, man.
Yep.
I completely agree with that.
Yeah.
My only concern or my only problem is when people make these declarative statements about these guys, like saying Shakur is the best from 140 down when he hasn't fought anybody of like real talent to prove it. I'm not saying Shakur is not, but I'm saying he's got to prove it first. Like, I got to see Shakur beat what's my man, Matias, before I say he's the best from 140 down. I got to see him beat a Regis Prograis. I got to see him
That's an easy fight for Shakur
before I do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you say that, Cozy, but I want to see it.
Cozy, I got to cut you off. Dirk, I got to cut you off for a second. Even check. You're absolutely right, because I had a conversation with Dan Raphael one time. But before that conversation with him, I used to say back in 97, that was a year before Mayweather had a title fight. I said, and the champion at the time was the trainer, Robert Garcia. It was Gennaro Chiquinito Hernandez was the champions. And I said at that time, I said, Floyd Mayweather can beat all these guys at that weight class. An old school guy said to me, he is talented, might be more talented, but he got to prove it in the ring. Eventually, he got his chance, and he did it. The conversation I had with Dan Raphael was because way back then, 15 years, 12 years ago at least, when Terrence Crawford was fighting on the off TV cards, right? Before he got an opportunity to fight anybody. And I was a student of the game and was liking what I had seen from him, had seen him fight in the amateurs when I was stationed in the military up in Oklahoma, and saw him as a teenager training in Oklahoma. In Nebraska, from Oklahoma, going to all them tournaments and stuff. That was back when I used to do that. I don't do that no more. But I had said to Dan Raphael, I said, listen, Bud Crawford can beat any guy at 135 or 140 at that time. I said the same thing Dirk said. I said he's talented. He'll beat all them guys, and too big for them guys at 35 and 40. And he said again, hey, I don't know, but he got to prove it in the ring. And I'm going to say that about Shakur. Shakur do look like he got some goods, but we got to see it in the ring. So Bob Arum, whomever is involved, make those fights. Make them.
Hey,
and that's
Julius,
just the bottom line. And I believe Shakur will fight any of them. I believe that Devin is willing to fight any of them. I don't know if Bill want Devin to fight everybody, but I believe Devin will fight him. And I believe that Tank will fight everybody. I'm not sure that Floyd and them guys, although they don't really control Tank no more, but Tank would fight all of them. So I believe that the three fighters want to fight everybody. If everybody else would get it that's involved would just go ahead and let those guys fight one another, then we're gonna get some big fights coming here soon.
Hey, but Jules, you just said it. The special ones, you see it early. It's like
I saw it in those guys. I saw it in him. But now it's been a time I was wrong. Let me say the times I was right. I was right in those times. And I was right about Diego Corrales. I saw Diego Corrales fight on an off card in 1996. And it was a tall, skinny guy. I didn't know who he was. And listen, they was announcing Diego Corrales from Columbia, South Carolina. Ain't that crazy? Didn't even know. A lot of people didn't even know he was born there. Now they called him from Sacramento later, but he was from South Carolina at that time. When I seen that kid punch, I said, that's a future world champion. I said, he going to win world champions up to 147. He only won it up to 130. Yeah, Diego Corrales, Chico Corrales.
Well, that was different. That wasn't because of his talent. It was because he had off the ring issues.
But no, I'm saying that I saw it in that particular situation. But I was right. He did win titles. But the one time I was wrong was Francisco Bajado. He looked like a surefire Hall of Famer. A bad boy he looked like. He did it in the amateurs. He did it everywhere. But when he went into the pros, I said, oh, yeah, he's going to win a world title. Well, he lost to Jesse James Leija. He was 12-0 with 11 knockouts, and he didn't do nothing else as a pro. Ricardo Williams from Cincinnati. Before AB, Ricardo was the man. Slick Rick. It looked like, was looked like a champion. Didn't do nothing. So that's all I'm saying. Shakur is more established than them guys, but I just want to throw every angle. I want to throw the good and the bad. So he looked like the goods, but we're not going to know how special Shakur is until we see it in the ring. Because personally, I think he'll beat Devin Haney in a fight. But we got to see it, because I could be totally wrong how that fight going to come out. I could be totally wrong. I'm not going to say he'll beat Tank Davis, but I believe that he'll beat Shakur. But I could be totally wrong. We got to see it in the ring. That's why I'm not doing so much talking about it, because we got to see it in the ring.
And that's my thing too. Again, I think Shakur is an excellent fighter, but when I look at the caliber of fighter, I have nothing. Again, I think I always say he's going to be special, but you know, people like to call people special even before they've proven it. Now, does he have a great potential? Absolutely. I see him having a great career, right? Hall of Fame type of career if he continue on his trajectory. But when we say he's this, he's that, but you know, again, people talk about the caliber of Tank, who he's fought, but compare him to who's Devin top fighter. You know, people say, "Oh, Tank hasn't fought this person." You know, but Devin biggest win is who? Is it Kambosos? Well, I never had Kambosos as top 5, even at 135, even with
they might say Linares or some shit.
I don't think
well,
right. So
the time he beat Linares, go ahead.
Well, yeah, Linares has already been KO'd 6 times. So
he's
got a Amir Khan type of chance. I think Linares has skills. I think he's fast, but you know what I mean. But again, he's long in the tooth, so the way they like to say it, whatever the case may be. And I just think, and then they touted Gamboa. Now, the funny thing is, up until Gamboa fought Tank, oh, he was an Olympian, he's this, he's that, oh, he wobbled Bud. When Tank fought him, he only had 2 losses. Oh, he's nothing, he's washed. But when Devin fought him, oh, it's a great name on his resume. We just gotta be consistent. So when I have to give the same credence to Shakur the way we give to Tank and everybody else. Oscar Valdez landed 110 punches on him. Do you think Oscar Valdez will landed 110 punches on Tank? I don't think so. Okay, so
it depends how long the fight goes.
Hey, but you know why that is? I'm gonna say why that is. Tank Davis is gonna have low numbers of people landed on him, because unlike Isaac Cruz, the average fighter, even if it's a 140-pounder, is not about to go in that ring and try to punch with Tank Davis. So they ain't gonna be as people like to say, let their hands go. Nah, you gun shy. Most guys going into a fight with Tank Davis, very defensive. They're not coming into a fight with no let my hands go. With Shakur, they feel the best chance is to overwhelm him with punches. All right. But let me say something else. Jose Luis Castillo landed over 200 punches against Floyd Mayweather, the greatest defensive fighter I ever seen in my life. And he landed 200 punches against Floyd.
Facts.
So let me tell you something. Everybody in Floyd like to say that there's no blueprint to me. There's no blueprint to this guy. There's a blueprint for everybody. Everybody can be decoded. Everybody can be decoded. Devin Haney can be decoded. Already has. Shakur can be decoded. Everybody, there's a code for everybody. But the only way we're gonna see them get coded, Check and Cozy, we got to see them get in the ring with these people.
Hey, and Julius. Oh, so here's the issue with Devin Haney for the Devin Haney fans out there.
Mm-hmm.
See, like Floyd, no matter how skilled he was, eventually he had to get into a dogfight. He met that one fight that put him in a dogfight. For example, Cotto, Castillo, like you just said. But the difference is Floyd knew how to handle himself on the inside.
Corley, that Chop Corley was the first time he got hurt in the ring. Jesus Chavez was a punch. I mean, at that time, Floyd couldn't make 130 no more. He wasn't using his legs. He was fighting him head up. That was a violent fight. Goyo Vargas, he broke his hand in the third round. Yeah, he was in a lot of dog fights. That's why I say people don't realize that Pretty Boy Floyd from 98 to 2009 was one career, and Money May from 2011 to 2019 or whatever he retired was another career. So he got in a lot of dog fights.
So that's my point. Like Floyd knew how to manage himself when it came to inside fighting, or as they would say, fighting in the trenches. Floyd knew what he was doing in there. Devin, on the other hand, he clinches. That's his inside game, and that's the extent of it. That's as far as it goes. Like Dirk, that's not going to work.
I'm gonna speak up for him in this sense. A lot of that comes into teaching. Like Check and Cozy know my game. I talk a lot about trainers, and the one thing that I have against Devin that's not Devin's fault. It's his father's fault. When he would learn how to fight, he was going to so many different trainers. He would train with this guy. He trained with Big Floyd. He trained with Eddie Mustafa. He trained with this. He trained with everybody. He trained with Roy Jones. So you caught up in between styles. So he didn't learn the ins and out of how to handle himself fighting. And even now, who's his trainer now?
It's Bill, ain't it?
I'm just asking. Do anybody know? Because at one time it was Mickey Bay, and his father don't come from no fighting background. You get what I'm saying, Cozy? So that's probably why his fight, he got deficiencies. And that's why I say that it's a code out there for all these guys, because a lot of them are not the most fundamentally sound guy. And even Tank, and I give Tank, oh my God, I ain't crazy about his system. I love Kenny as a trainer, but Check already know. So I'm saying that, you know what I'm saying, man? So sometimes we see things with him, but it all comes down to the fundamentals. So I think when those guys fight each other, if the trainers can put together the right game plan, any of those guys can come out on top. Now, I would say that Devin would be slightly behind Tank Davis and Shakur, but we got to see it in the ring. Y'all go ahead and shoot on.
No, I love my man Dirk's passion, and I can't discount it. I want you've chosen Shakur as your favorite fighter. So when someone chooses, I will never say you're wrong for that. But all I'm saying is, to me, when I judge about the defense or the offense or their skill sets, I just got to match them up. Do anybody think Shakur has better footwork than Tank? Do you think he has better footwork than Tank?
I do. And one more caveat. So look, we can say who we feel has better defense based on our opinions, but I would like to use numbers. And the numbers say Shakur Stevenson is the least hit fighter in all of boxing. He's got the highest plus minus in all of boxing, him and Bivol, meaning he hits his opponent the most and he gets hit the least. Now you can say, well, he hasn't really fought nobody, but there's a lot of fighters fighting certain level of fighters and they're not on that list. So it's clear Shakur Stevenson that tells you what type of skill level he's on. I don't even gotta tell you, bro. Just watch the fight. So there you go.
I'm not again, my brother. I'm not discounting Shakur's skills at all. That's I will never do that. Like I said, I think he's elite, he's got elite skills. He's got an opportunity to be great. He's not there yet because he hasn't fought those opposition to say who do you think who is Shakur's best opponent that he's fought? You know what I mean? And then that will and what did that opponent Valdez?
It's either Valdez or Conceição who was a gold medalist, but you keep saying that, but Tank Davis is older than Shakur Stevenson, and Shakur Stevenson is already a 2-weight world champion. So technically, Shakur Stevenson has accomplished more than Tank Davis.
Oh my God!
Well, Tank is a 3-weight world champion. Tank
no, he's a 3-weight Reggie Belt champion.
There we
go, Reggie.
Come on now, let's keep it real.
Let me finish. Let
me know when I can chime in, yo.
Go ahead.
Let
Cozy.
me finish my statement. Wait, but let me, Cozy, please let me finish this statement. Go ahead, okay? Because people like to discount this belt. Can you tell me what belt the Pollo currently holds at 140?
I have no idea. Is it the one that Mario Barrios
had? He
holds
the WBA. Yes, sir. He's the same belt the Tank had, sir. And guess what they call him? The 140 champion at WBA 140 world champion, okay? The same belt that Floyd held, the same belt that Canelo held, the same belt that GG had 11 title defenses at, the same belt that Inoue held. So all of a sudden, it's a Reggie when Canelo has it, but this is the same belt that Floyd beat Maidana for. But you guys don't understand the ramifications or the significance of that belt or the history of that belt. The WBA says, put it this way: if Tank wasn't a 140 champion guess what? He would be ranked. If he wasn't a 135 champion, he would be ranked. But you will not find him in any rankings in any other belt organization because they recognize him as a champion. The WBA created. Let me finish, sir. The WBA created the WBA Super so champions can skip their mandatories. It doesn't take anything away from the WBA world title being in a world title belt. So don't go about this Reggie thing unless you do your proper research.
Okay, fair enough. But last time I checked,
hold on, Dirk. Before you go, Cozy had wanted to say something, so I'm gonna let Cozy jump in real fast. Go ahead, Cozy.
I appreciate that. The only thing I wanted to say was one, when we bring up plus, minus, or even punch stats, it's a literal guy who's allegedly trained, quote unquote, to punch. I mean, to like count those things. So, there's human error in all of that. But secondly, and most importantly, Conceição, again, when we talk about he's an Olympian, Duke Reagan is an Olympian, but nobody's going around. He's an Olympic silver
gold medalist.
He's an Olympic silver medalist, Duke Reagan. Who cares? Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
There's so many people who've been gold medalists. The pros is the pros. Conceição has not done anything relevant really in the pros. Luke Campbell was a gold medalist. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, but and more importantly, I have no problem with Shakur getting praise and accolades, but the perfect fighter comp that I hear all the time, he's good on the inside, he's good on the outside, he's great, you know what I'm saying, in the clinch, is everything. I just don't see that when he fights against Oscar Valdez. He wasn't walking him down behind the jab, whatever. He was backing up the entire fight, pivoting on his toes, scared of a small 135-pounder. So my point is, let's see him against the Matiases of the world, against the Regis Prograis of the world. Him and Dev, it's easy to fight and be very successful and look dominant against guys that you have such huge physical and athletic advantages against. Can I at least see him fight Frank Martin first and beat him soundly just the way he beat Yoshino before you say he's Floyd Mayweather and all these people? That's all I ask,
He just fought a Japanese. He just
Yeah.
fought a Japanese rice farmer. You know what I'm saying? But we're going to go ahead and put him on a pedestal. This guy was just making sushi like 2 days before the fight. You know what I mean?
Come on, man.
You know. But my
Come
but
on,
my
man.
point is we got to give for fighters the credibility they deserve. For instance, Raleigh, and I'm gonna let you go, Dirk. My bad. I just wanted to try to nail this point. Raleigh, I think Raleigh's skills are crap, but he's strong as an ox. You know what I mean? Tank was fighting at a deficit against a guy who looked like he was juicing, who looked like he was weighing 160 in a ring. You know what I'm saying? And that guy only landed 22 punches, and guess what? Tank said that was the hardest he ever been hit by Raleigh. Has Shakur ever faced someone that he was at a deficit in the ring? Has he ever faced someone that people say this could be a 50-50 fight? Has he ever faced someone that said, oh, this guy is bigger, he's faster, he's stronger? No. Tank has
I
done
can't believe
all
you
of those.
said that.
What?
Has Tank ever been in a ring with somebody? It's a 50-50 fight.
I asked you. Well, again, I said deficits. Okay, Tank's skill is so much more that you're not going to give anybody a chance against him. Basically,
And what's your point? What's your point?
He's this, but has Tank? I said, has Tank fought at a deficit? Has Tank fought someone? Tank is 5'5". Has he fought a person that's 5'11" at 140? Yes. Has Devin done? Has Shakur done that? No. You know what I mean? Has Shakur faced a pressure fighter like that got knockout power like Isaac Cruz? No, he hasn't. Has Shakur faced somebody with the power of Rolly? No, he hasn't. Has Shakur
Hold on, guys.
a volume?
Hold
wait,
up,
1
guys.
second. Last one.
Go ahead.
Last one.
Has
Has Shakur faced a
wrap it up.
pressure fight? Okay, has Shakur faced a pressure fighter, a volume puncher like Leo Santa Cruz? No, he hasn't. So when he hasn't faced any of those type of opposition, when you can say Valdez is his top opposition, we got to null and void that because Valdez ain't shit. Let's get it.
All right, hold on.
Let's
I'm gonna give everybody their last word because I'm about to wrap it up. We've been on about 2 hours, 45 minutes. I'm gonna come back on in a couple of days. First, before I give everybody a chance to say something, man, it was good being back for my first time in 7 months, man. It was like I never left. Like I told you, it took me almost a month. It did. It took me a month to this day, to the day, to be able to come back and talk and fall back in line because I had to, like I said earlier when I first came on, I had to go back, man, and go back, watch all the fights I missed in the last 7 months and get up to speed on the news, what had happened, just so I can be able to come back and talk to y'all because, man, y'all guys are knowledgeable, man, and y'all know the game. So I didn't want to come up here half-stepping. You know what I'm saying? I had to get back in step with what I know. So I appreciate all y'all supporting me, man, and I appreciate it. Everybody that even came on tonight and that was in the that left messages and everything, man. I appreciate it. Thank you. And all y'all say one more thing before we go, and we'll be back on in a couple days. All right, go ahead. I'm gonna start off with Cozy. Go ahead, Cozy, and then Dirk, and then you can.
I appreciate you, Julius, for allowing me to be on the panel and participate. Glad to see you back in health. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Being able to chop it up with you for sure, man. The last thing I want to say, because y'all have brought up so many points that are interesting. Just remember that the man makes the belts. The belt don't make the man. So when we cite these things like he's a 2-weight world champion or whatever, you beating Joet Gonzalez at 126 for a belt is the same thing technically as Earl Spence going to England and beating Kell Brook for the belt. But do I think Joet Gonzalez and Kell Brook are nearly on the same level? No. But, you would say he's a world champion and he's a world champion. It's cool. But who you beat matters much more to me than that. So, accolades are accolades. It is what it is. Salute to all the fighters, man. They're all very talented. I just want to see them all lined up in the ring so that we can find out who the best is, just like that documentary I saw about the 4 Kings. All those guys fought. Sugar Ray Leonard and Tommy Hearns fought when they were 25 and 22 years old and still went on to have illustrious careers after, and these old guys can all do the same thing, man. So, I appreciate you for being on the panel.
And Julius, can you allow Dirk to respond to the information that I said, the statements I said, because I don't want that brother to leave, feel like he didn't, be able to respond.
Okay, go ahead.
Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, go ahead,
Okay.
Dirk.
So the 140-pound thing. Last time I checked, that was the time around where Josh Taylor was undisputed, if I'm not wrong. So whatever belt that Mario Barrios had, he wasn't the legit champion at 140. That was Josh Taylor. So that's why I call that a Reggie belt. No disrespect. So
Hey, and let me say something, man. And that's funny. And I want to respond to it. The only reason why I don't call it Reggie's, and I do say, I've said that it's too many belts as far as I don't like interim titles and things like that and regular belts. But let me say something, Dirk Check. I respect it and I don't diss the guys because, man, it take a lot to get out there, man, and fight for a world title. And think about it. You the champion of the world, even if it's a so-called interim belt or Reggie belt, man, the world is big. You know what I'm saying? The world is big. And I've seen those streets in Baltimore, been on them, can tell you, anything about it, have lived in the area for a few years. And to come from that and to be anything, even if it's just a Reggie belt. And one of the guys that started that talk about Reggie, he from this area. He know how hard it is out here, man. He know how it is out here in the trenches for them kids. He should never, for that guy, he should never talk about a Reggie belt because it's an accomplishment every day to see Tank Davis, man, just living and moving around because it's been guys that I have seen in that gym and I've been here a couple years that are dead, man. So I'm going to give Tank Davis that respect, not to call his belt a Reggie. Now, would he be considered, they used to call it a super champion. No, he ain't the super champion of the division. You get what I'm saying? And that's another thing where I say that we can rid ourselves of this by guys fighting because I was under the impression, and if I'm wrong, y'all tell me, that when you won a regular title, it was so that you could fight the champion. Am I right?
Well, no. Actually, the way it was is the WBA World Championship belt is the original belt. Okay, Lennox Lewis, after 2001, Lennox Lewis made a petition to the WBA to make the WBA Super so the champion who hold that can avoid fighting his mandatories.
A mandatory,
it's sort of right. It's just like what the WBC tried with the franchise belt. Okay. So when you say, so basically, Dirk, my brother, when you say that the WBA world is not it's a Reggie belt, it's the original belt, sir. It's the world championship belt. It's the same thing as the WBC world champion. Okay. So that's like saying that the franchise belt eliminated Devin Haney. Devin Haney was still
hold on. I sidetracked this. Go ahead and finish it up. Fly it home, Check, and then Dirk can fly his home, and we're gonna run, and we're gonna pick up where we left off here another night, probably a few nights from now. Go ahead.
Well, my whole thing is I wanted to go ahead and again when it came to Tank, people he said, he's not a 3-division champion. If you just go to the WBA site and look up the definition, just Google the definition of WBA World Champ. There's nothing that says it's a Reggie. It's the original belt. So therefore, Puello holds that belt, and he's considered the 140 champion at WBA. There's nobody above him, right? Floyd Mayweather won the WBA world belt, the same belt the Tank has from Maidana. Nobody called Floyd a Reggie champ. Floyd never held the WBA Super at 147, but he held the WBA Super at 154. So that doesn't eliminate him from being holding those belts and being those champions of that particular division for that particular belt. So people just got to give Tank his respect. Don't diminish it because you want to have an argument about the belt. If you go look at the WBC, WBA, the IBF, and the WBO, guess what? They don't rank Tank. You know why? Because they list him as a champion. So if he's not in the rankings, you can't discount because of propaganda talking points that says Tank is not this, Tank is not that. So you got to give him the same respect, my brother, is holding that belt as you give Prel, or if you get Floyd and anybody else in a way who held it as well.
All right, I appreciate it, Chet. Go ahead, Dirk. Say your piece to end the night, and then we're gonna be done tonight. Go ahead. You got the last word from the panel. Dirk?
You got to mute it.
My bad. So, Jules, I appreciate you letting me have on.
No doubt. Hey, you're welcome to come anytime. Check. No, he got an open invitation, man. Anytime I'm on, let's go. You know what I'm saying? But go ahead.
And I appreciate you too, Check, having a civil discussion. So now I do have to respond to that point you made real quick before we go. See, the thing about Tank, look, I like Tank Davis. He's one of my top 5 favorite fighters. He's very exciting, all that stuff. But I don't like the way he's moving, because he could have been fought Devin whenever he wanted to, because it's not like Devin is going to duck Tank Davis. Nobody's going to duck Tank Davis because he's the money man. He's like a mini Canelo. Everybody wants him, and he knows that. So there's no reason why you should be fighting. There's no reason why you should be, especially at your age. You're damn near 30. Like you should be going for undisputed. Like what is the purpose here? Do you want to be a ticket seller only, or do you want to go for legacy? Because when you listen to Tank talk, you never hear him say, "Oh, I want to go down as one of the great. I want to go down." No, he don't, bro, and he's not moving like it.
Do you have Twitter? Devin, I will post you the link.
I'm not a big fan of Devin, but Dev, Shakur, they're moving like they want legacy.
Dirk, do you have Twitter?
Yes, I do.
Okay, give me your Twitter, and I'll send you the videos, and you can look at them, and we can have the discussion on Twitter.
Okay. I'll put it in the private.
But, there you go. All right. Yeah. Hey, look, again, guys, I appreciate y'all coming on, man. I really do. I'm gonna, now that I'm back afloat. I ain't missed nothing. Talked about lightweights today. I'm gonna come back probably Thursday or Friday, and we're gonna talk some more, pick up maybe on welterweights or junior middleweight, because we never got around to talking about Fundora getting knocked out. So I wanted to talk about that because that was a good fight too. And also talk about, did Lubin take something away from him? So anyway, we're gonna come back, man, another day and discuss it. I just appreciate it. This is the first show in 7 months, man, and it was good.
Glad to have you back, brother.
Yeah, appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Dirk, this your first time on, man. I appreciate you coming on, man, and you can come anytime, bro.
I appreciate it, man.
Type your Twitter in the private, so I can go ahead and send you.
Yeah, go ahead and type it in, because I'm about to jump off here and sign off here in a second. Let me know when it's up there.
Okay.
And listen, I only do this stuff to share this information so we could all be up on the same information and resources. It's not about proving someone's wrong. It's about sharing the facts, so we're all on the same page, because facts can't be.
All right, there you go.
Disputed. Okay, let me get this now. Okay, I got you, brother, and I'm gonna send you some links, and then once you look at that link, you can hit me back on Twitter and let me know if you think Tank called out Devin or not, or if you think Tank seriously won undisputed or not. You know what I'm saying?
All right, good brothers. Y'all take care, man. I appreciate it. All right, y'all take care.